Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here this evening. And as promised, a program that I've been meaning to bring you all here for a while. It's definitely going to be worth your while because I do want you all to see this. Definitely a subject that no one has really dealt with here before, but that we are going to deal with here tonight. And we are going to discuss what happens and what it means when you have been playing the field too long. The big misconception that a lot of people have, and particularly women have, is that as they're growing up, that one of the big misnomers you keep hearing over and over again is when females today attempt to compare themselves to men, and that's how you know that you've been misled from the very beginning. Right from the jump, you've been misled. To even compare yourself to a man, you don't ever hear men comparing themselves to women and saying, why can't I do what the girls do? Well, there are a few guys who do that, but they don't get any type of respect among the men. So what we're going to be dealing with here is addressing what it means when you've been playing the field too long. Now, what do I mean when I say playing the field? Playing the field is in your heyday. As females, you are at the top of your sexual attractiveness in your early 20s. You will never be as potent as you are there. Once you leave that part of your life, your early 20s, you will never return. That's it. That is all you get. Now, women who have good mothers, intelligent mothers, watchful, dutiful fathers, teach them to maximize their gains in their 20s. But unfortunately, in the era in which we live in today, the women have been encouraged to believe that, why, there ain't no limits. You can go ahead and play the field long as you want to. Get out there, run around, go in circles, figure eights. Why, you'll always get called up to the roster again next year. And on and on and on it goes. You have been taught that you will be able to play out there in the field as long as you want to. If you want to play, don't worry, there will still be fans looking to buy your jersey. There will still be managers looking to work with you. There will still be teams looking to draft you. And that you will be able to cash out when you want to. Nobody else is going to cash you out. You get to decide how long you want to do that. And so what happens today is hot girl summer turns into hot mess spring. As most females today continue to stay out there on the field long after their peak viability has expired. You see, you're supposed to get out there on the field, and when you peak, that's when you're supposed to cash it in. That's when you cash in. That's when you go ahead and take your winnings off the table. When you're able to get top dollar, when you're able to take everything you want. That's when you're supposed to do it. But what happens today is, ladies, if you're just totally honest, you've been encouraged to just stay out there and stay out there and stay out there. And what happens is, instead of leaving the field when you're at the top of your game, instead of leaving the field when you've got all the advantages, instead, you just decide, well, hell, I'm getting all of these perks. Why in the world should I be leaving? I mean, take a look at all this adoration I'm getting. And understand, I know it feels good. I mean, that's the whole point. When you're in your 20s, you've got more people throwing unearned benefits at you, benefits you didn't earn. You just got men making all types of incredible top shelf offers simply as a consequence of you breathing. They're falling all over themselves. It seems like there's just an endless supply. And they're offering tangibles. You see these chicks out here today in their 40s, she ain't been offered no tangibles. Dudes ain't barely even offering intangibles. But when you're in your early 20s, men from every age range, including the affluent, who lead with their accomplishments, who lead with their bank accounts, those guys are coming to you first. They're coming to you first. And that's what tends to happen. And it can be very seductive while you're soaking up all of those benefits. You're soaking up all those rewards. You're soaking up all of those unearned prizes. You just want to stay out there forever. You just want to be soaking it up forever. And we understand. I mean, hell, you are in the prime of it. You're in the prime of it. So, of course, you love the adoration. Your female ego and vanity are just drinking it in by the gallon, by the ton. You can't be told nothing. You already started out with an overinflated ego in middle school. Now it's just blown up to cosmic proportions, and it must be true. I mean, it must be true because you've just got so many men out here who are looking to give that to you. So it must be true. I mean, they're literally falling all over themselves. It must be true. And you know what? It is. It is. For a while. Oh, this is the real world. For a while. But eventually, the bill comes due. And if there is one lesson that I want the women listening today to understand, I want it to be, ladies, when you play, you pay. When you play, you will pay. The bill will come due. If you don't cash out when you're supposed to, the bill will come due. And you'll be marching out into the world with all kinds of incorrect, erroneous expectations that what you had in your 20s is still an appreciating asset. So what we're going to do here tonight, I'm going to make this in terms that you'll be able to understand. We're going to make this in real black and white numerical terms that you're going to be able to understand. So sit back. I would say relax, but this will be very, very stressful for some of you. But sit back as we explain it to you here. Giving you the dark arts of game. Time to give you the business. Imagine, if you will, that there is a bank. And every female on this planet, every female who is born, you are born with an account at this bank. Now, The bank account has a lot in it. And by a lot, I mean every female is going to start with more or less about $2 million. Definitely enough to make sure you don't have to work. Every female, for the most part, now some of y'all, it don't matter what you do, Tarana Burke, ain't nothing you can do. But for everybody else, you're going to start off with enough in the bank that you ain't got to work. So let's just say you're going to start off with $10 million. That by the time you reach the age of 25, you peaked. There's your 10 mil. You got choices to make. Been making deposits all this time. All these years. Now, you didn't know you were making them, but you were making deposits all these years. But Jason, what are the deposits that I've been making? So glad you asked. Let me introduce you to the deposits that you've been making. On your screen right now, these are the deposits that you as a female, from the time you were born, you were putting into your account. Whether you understood it or not. Lot for I want you to learn here. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I want to go ahead and blow that up some so that you can get a real good look at that. And this is what you have been depositing into your account. First of all, and I want you to understand the differences as we go along here. For your deposits, you've first been depositing your youth. At just a very basic level, the fact that you are alive and healthy, so youth encompasses health, and the fact that you have been alive and healthy, that's the first deposit that you make. Being healthy. Even if you can't do anything else, being healthy helps. Next is your looks. Looks should be defined as your ability to properly represent a man's accomplishments at an aesthetic level. At an aesthetic level. The third thing that you bring a man that you deposited into your female bank account, the third thing that you have deposited is being a clean slate. A man wants to know how it is you can enhance his life. And the first way in which you can do that is by bringing him a clean slate to work with. He doesn't want to have to deal. He doesn't want to be fighting with other people. He doesn't want to fight with your father. He doesn't want to fight with your pastor. He doesn't want to be competing with your past. He doesn't want to be competing with whatever notions you picked up elsewhere. He wants you to be something that he can start where he wants to start. That there are no impediments in his way. So he wants you to be a clean slate. No emotional baggage. No mental baggage, no daddy issues. He wants you to be a clean slate. Next is attitude. This also encompasses your femininity. Do you like to wear Timberlands? Or do you like to wear Louboutin, Manolo, whatever? All of this goes into attitude. Do you have the right disposition on all levels? This is what you're depositing. This is what gives you that $10 million in the bank by the time you reach peak femininity in your early 20s. This is what you're depositing. This is what gives you value. This is the appreciating asset. Next is coachability. You see, even if your father made you into a fine specimen of a female, your father can help coach you into be a fine specimen of a female. Your mother can coach you to be a fine specimen of a woman, but neither of them can finish that last part. The finishing on a car is the wax. Neither one of them can take that last step. They can turn you into a fine woman, but they can't turn you into his woman. You see, you're your father's daughter, but your father can't make you a wife, except in some really sick communities out there. But your father isn't the one that makes you into a wife. You and your father can get along as fine as you want to, but if there are no men in the world who want to marry you, your father has failed, is the point I'm trying to make. You can break your arm patting yourself in the back all you want to about how great you get along with your daddy. That doesn't mean a damn thing if there are no men who want to be with you. No men who want to invest in you. No men who want to take care of you. No men who transport you from the status of being another man's daughter to being a producer's woman. I'm not even going to go so far as to say wife. Let's just say even to get to the point of being his woman. Because most of the women listening to me right now, you're nobody's woman. There is no man claiming you. There is no man taking care of you. There is no man you can fall back on. It's just you. It's just you. So this is what you have been depositing in the bank of female value. This is what you've been putting in. In the words of Anton Shakur, you've been paying it all your life. You just didn't know it. But as you all have gotten older, some of y'all figured out, yeah, I have been paying it. Hope I ain't been blasting too many of y'all out here. Let me turn the volume. I didn't realize my gain was up so loud. Let me go ahead and turn that down some. I just been over here blasting. But you have been putting deposits in the bank all this time. You've been putting it in the bank your whole life till you get to your early 20s. That's when things change. Now, it is time to make a withdrawal. Now it's time for you to make a withdrawal. And every female loves to get to the point where they make the withdrawal. But this is where the problems come in. Because you see, if you have squandered those years, I turn the volume down a little bit, be quiet. Pay attention. The gain is fine. If you have squandered those years, then when you get ready to go to the bank, you get ready to make a withdrawal, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem because you might be telling yourself in your head what you want. But that is not what you're going to be able to get. Your expectations are going to be different than what you can actually receive. Well, what is it you can actually receive? Remember when I told you that, you were making deposits? Well, during that time, you have also been making withdrawals. And let's understand some of the withdrawals that you've been making. Well, first and foremost, you have been making withdrawals in the area of age. You see, all this time, at the same time that you have been making deposits of youth, you have also been making withdrawals of age. Now, when you're 20 years or younger, imagine a bucket with a hole in it. Just imagine a bucket with a hole. Now, before the age of 20, you've got so much water gushing into the bucket that it's still overflowing, even though there's a hole in the bottom of the bucket. But as you get older, as you begin to get older, that changes. That changes. The amount of water that you're able to pour in that bucket gets less and less. And eventually, that hole in the bottom of the bucket, you're no longer able to put enough water in the bucket to keep the bucket full, and that hole is draining faster than you can fill the bucket. Because the amount of youth that you have to pour into the bucket is diminishing. As you're getting older, that's what it's going to be. So age is a withdrawal that you've been making from your account the whole time. Yeah, you might be young, but the age is starting to make withdrawals. Next is attitude. As you've been living, you've picked up bad habits, you've picked up bad notions, you've picked up flawed practices. If you were raised by a single mom, you done picked up a bunch of them. So now you started acquiring bad habits from your mother, from your aunts, from your female friends, from television, from social media. You start picking up, remember, on the other side of the ledger, attitude was a plus. But there's also an attitude that takes away from your account. So now you've picked up attitude issues. But nobody wanted to tell you. Or you didn't want to listen. Next up, the next withdrawals you're making is weight gain. You know, it's like watching the hands on a clock as they move. It can be difficult to tell when you've done too much. It can be difficult to tell when you've crossed over from being, you done added 5 pounds to adding 15. It can be kind of hard to tell. Dudes are still looking at your breasts. Dudes are still looking at your rump. They start making allowances. Your belly hasn't become obscene. They start making allowances. She getting a little thick. They start making a few allowances, and then it gets very deceptive because it's very subtle. And it can become very deceptive. So you're sitting there saying to yourself, what all women do, well, I ain't bad. I ain't as bad as them hoes over there. But you have to understand, ladies, you get measured against the ceiling, against the best. You don't get measured against the chicks at the bottom. You're going to be measured against that man's ideal. And if he is a man who is a producer, if he's a man of resources, if he is a man of above average income, he's measuring you against the best. He isn't measuring you against the worst. Next up is debt. You was gonna be strong and independent. You were gonna be strong and independent, and in the process of, quote, doing it yourself, you racked up debt. You did what females are wont to do. You started trying to use money as material therapy, but you don't have the resources to sustain what it is you want to do. You see, as a woman, you need a workhorse. As a woman, you need a workhorse. You need a man who can subsidize your... Women spend based on their emotions. Women spend based on their emotions. So you need a man who can make up that shortfall. You need a workhorse. You need a man who can bridge that gap between what it is you want and what it is you can actually get. You see, one of the reasons that the American social order wanted to open up the society to women working is because they understood that women are really endless consumers. Women buy based on emotion. Women don't invest. Women run up bills. Women don't manage money. Women spend money as a group. There are some who manage it, but very, very few. Most women are going to spend based on how they feel. If today was a bad day, here's the real problem of it. When she has a bad day, she doesn't spend money. When she has a good day, she blows the bank. In reality, it should work in the reverse. On your good days, you shouldn't spend nothing. And on your bad days, you should spend less. But as a rule, with women, they spend money. Much more, they spend money based on how they feel. And that's why you need a man, both to manage the expenses and at the same time be able to take care of making sure that your expenditures don't get out of control and that he can make up that shortfall. It's going to be a big difference. It's going to be a huge difference. The next thing that you want to be aware of here is baggage. Now, as a young woman, lack of baggage is a big plus. It's one of the things that men like about you. You haven't racked up a bunch of negative experiences. You haven't got a whole bunch of dudes' bodies on you. You're more of a blank slate. You haven't got bitterness issues. You haven't started reflecting the negative characteristics of your mother or your father. But as you get older, you start talking more like your mama. You start talking more like your grandmama. You start talking more like them hens in the neighborhood. You start exhibiting the negative advice and the bad advice that they gave you. You start replicating and mimicking that. You start echoing that. Your hoe phase. All the knocks and bumps and cuts and bruises that you picked up during your hoe phase. You start showing the wear and tear from those. Next thing you know, you understand all of these are you taking withdrawals out of that account. You're getting older. You're getting attitude issues, weight gain. You don't look the way you did when we first met you in your prime. Because you see, your prime is supposed to be in your mid-20s. But a lot of y'all smoke your damn prime by the time you're 16 or 17. Ain't that a damn shame? You're supposed to hit your prime in your 20s. And most females today hit their prime in their damn adolescent years. You ain't even got out the gate. That's a damn shame. You were finished before you even got started. So you picked up baggage. On top of that now, oh hell. Not only do you have all these negative characteristics, you're uncoachable. Not only have you picked up a lot of bad habits, but now a man of means, a man who's got his act together, he can't even really help to mold you anymore because you're set in your ways. He's not really able to do nothing now at this point because you're starting to exhibit that you are set in your ways. You're telling him that you want to listen, but your mouth keeps running. You tell him that you want a man that you are ready for a man who can produce, but your mouth keeps going. So even in the hands of the right man, you are uncoachable. So we can't even correct the problems that are there. Next, you got entitlement issues. So with all the negative things that you've got, a man can't say anything to you because you still see yourself as if you were this chick over here still. You're still treating him and approaching the world as if you're this woman who's still got this wealth of deposits you can put in the bank. But the reality is you have been drawing down your account the entire time. You have been drawing down this bank account. And that's the issue. You haven't been letting it alone and it just develops interest by itself. You've been making withdrawals from it all the time. Before it's matured, now you've made a lot of withdrawals. Wish I could tell you that it stops there, but it doesn't. Because unfortunately, a lot of you females, you were supposed to have 10 million in the bank, but you kept hitting the account. You kept making withdrawals. You kept making all these withdrawals on the screen here. And the 10 million turned to 8, turned to 7, turned to 5, turned to 4, turned to 3. You kept hitting it. So you're not going to be able to pull out as much as you thought you were going to be able to pull out. That's for those of you who are lucky. When you've been playing the field too long, the longer you play on the field, you're going to have to make withdrawals from your account to sustain and support yourself. You're drawing down what you were supposed to get if you stay out there for too long. But for some of you, this was actually the best you could have gotten, because for some of you, oh hell, some of you went way too damn far. Not only did you draw down your account, you didn't just draw it down, you got overdrafts. You didn't just withdraw some money, you done went in the red. You thinking you gonna come out someday and, I got all this money I'm putting into the bank. Yeah, I know I'm spending money, but I got all this money I done put into the bank. Don't worry. One day we gonna go and hit the mother load. And all this money is just sitting there waiting. Ladies, I'm just telling you right now, if nobody else told you here, I don't care how much money you deposited in the bank of female value. If you got kids, that's an overdraft. If you got kids, you're instantly overdrafted. Immediately. You got an overdraft. Right then, right there. I don't care if you had 2 million or 20 million. You got, especially if you got more than one kid, boom, empty. Account on E. Your account's on E. Negative funds. Your account is on E. No, each kid is not a certain amount of money. The second you have a kid, your account is zeroed out. The second that you have a kid, your account is overdrafted. You have a negative balance. As soon as you have a kid, negative balance. Bam. That's it. No, I'm not going to sit up here and soften the blow and butter you up. You got a kid, negative balance. Negative balance. Trust me, I make the Iron Bank on Game of Thrones look downright generous. Ladies, you got a kid, negative balance. Negative balance. That's it. We're not going to sit up here and try to pretty this up for you. We're not going to try to pretty it up for you. You got an STD? Understand. Ladies, remember what it is that gives you your value. You yourself. You yourself. Women always love to tout their intrinsic value. I'm valuable because I'm me. I'm valuable because I got up this morning. Okay, fine. We'll buy that. Your value is you. Just intrinsically, just the skin you're in. But do you understand that if you start doing stupid things, permanent things, you start taking reckless chances with the skin you're in, now you want to bring that to a man and tell him, here, invest. Invest in me. I'm here, invest. So your body, which is what you want a man to invest in you for, your intrinsic value, and you're trashing it. You got stretch marks, loose skin, STDs, visible tattoos. So your man doesn't get a clean slate. He gets the picked over leftovers. But you want him to contribute top dollar. To the picked over leftovers. But here, contribute top dollar anyway. You see, ladies, I know it is very, very tempting. I know it is very, very tempting to just stay out there on the field to soak up all this attention and all this adoration because it just feels so good to have that narcissistic aspect of your personality getting catered to. Why you know you the goddess, and it's about damn time all these men out here understood that. And you just love exploiting it and taking advantage of it. But understand something. If you stay on the field too long, if you play the field too damn long, then there will be nothing left in the account for you to withdraw when you're ready to. Because you see, it costs money to play the field. It costs money to play that field is what I'm telling you. It costs you money to stay out there. You can't stay out there on the field for free. It costs money to be there. Now, when you're young, it costs a lot less than it does when you get older. Older is your late 20s. You need to be having an exit plan to get the hell off that field. You need to have an exit plan to exit the field and cash out. You don't need to wait until the team retires your jersey, because the team only retires your jersey when you've got no value left. You can't stay on the field too long. Forget staying on it forever. You can't stay on it too long. It's very seductive to think, oh, I'm all right. I'm a unicorn. I'm special. That's what every female likes to tell herself, but it ain't true. And you see, when you rack up your body count and your tattoos and all the dudes who seen you naked before the man that you ultimately want to be with, understand you're drawing it down. You fooled around and had a kid. Boom, there goes everything. Now you went from having a bank account that was flush with cash to having an account that is overdrawn and in debt. Now you're working backwards, trying to figure out how to fix that. Going backwards. Because nobody was sitting up here coaching you to understand, don't play the field too long. Well, I love the game. Ladies, understand something. You're supposed to get in the game to get out of the game. Because you can't, it's like gambling. For those of you who know how it works at a casino, for those of you who have worked at a casino, what is it that the managers and the owners of the casino tell you? They don't care how many people win. Your job at a casino isn't to beat the customers. For those of you who've never worked at a casino, never talked to anybody who works at a casino or owns one, they will be the first one to tell you, we don't worry about how much money people make. How much money people quote unquote win. Our job isn't to beat them. Our job is to keep them in the casino as long as possible. Because we understand that as long as they stay there and keep playing, they're going to give us everything back that they've won, plus everything they got in their pockets when they came. The casino isn't trying to beat you. The casino wins as long as you stay. When you get up and leave, that's when, if you have won from the casino, when you get up and leave, that's you winning. So what's the first thing they do at the casino if you win? If you hit a lick, what's the first thing they do? Oh, wait. You ain't got to leave just yet. Oh, you ain't got to leave. We know you want to go home, but most of these casinos today have what? Hotels attached to the casino. You ain't got to leave. No. Stay right here. Hey, we'll get you some complimentary food. Hey, over here at the restaurant. Dish them up, whatever they want. Seafood, everything. Comped on the house. Oh, you want to go home? No. Don't worry. We'll take care of your meals. Hey, we'll put you in one of our suites. Put you in one of our ambassador suites. Right upstairs. Top floor, baby. Top floor, baby. No problem. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go home. We'll take care of your food. We'll take care of your shelter. You just stay here. Don't leave. Why? Because if you leave, you're going to go to the damn bank. Like a sensible person should. You're going to go to the bank and deposit your winnings. But if you stay, the longer you're in that environment, people, there's nothing you can do at a casino except play the games. All you can really do is play all your damn money back. The casino wants you to play the field for too long. And that's the way it is in the real world. If you play the field too long, you catching feelings and you're loving it and you feeling on top of the world, you're playing the field too long. It is time to cash out. Time is a man's ally, but it is a woman's enemy. Time works in the favor of men. If no one ever told you, time works in our favor. Remember, Jennifer Lopez was dating one of those dancers. I want to say it was the dude right there, the one near the top. I want to say it might have been him. But Jennifer Lopez was running around with the damn dancers. Was that a win for her or a win for them? You're playing the field too long. You're playing the field too damn long. Nicki Minaj was dating Meek Mill. At least Meek Mill's got his own. Who's the fella? Nicki Minaj played the damn field so long and her butt has been seen by too many people naked so long, she can't even get Meek Mill back. She had to go marry some degenerate. She played the field too long. Meg Thee Stallion. Who the hell is... What in the world type of producer is going to want Meg Thee Stallion with 2 holes in her foots? What man who's got resources? What man who's got value? What man who's got disposable income is going to want to take on Meg Thee Stallion running around here with 2 bullet holes in her foot, in both of her foots? I mean, she's literally coming to you with bullet wounds and various other body markings. You played the field too damn long. You need to exit. It is when you are hitting the top of your game, it's time to go. Unfortunately, most females today, I mean, you played the field too damn long is the problem. And this is no longer an academic exercise for you. This is your life. This is the real world. This is where you at. You're having to deal with this. Now you got to face the brutal reality. That bank account that you started off with when you were born that was appreciating in value, all those withdrawals that you made for all those years, ladies, as I said, when you play, you will pay. When you play, you will pay. How many of the women listening to me right now? Your best days are behind you. How many of you listening to me right now, when it was time for you to cash out, you didn't do that? How many of you back when your bank your banking statement had a flush account with deposits in it? How many of you had that? How many of you had that available? How many of you now are sitting with a whole damn chest of drawers full of withdrawal slips? Can we just be real? How many of you are sitting right now with a drawer, a shoebox, whatever, filled with withdrawal slips from all those withdrawals you took out? All that money you took out of the account, you just kept going and going and going, and then you were 22, 23 years old and there's nothing in the account. Now you're 29, 39, 49 years old. I'm going to open up the phone lines here in just a moment, and I want to ask a very basic statement. How many women listening to me right now are 39 years old and still think that you've got something in your account? I want to know how many women are listening to me right now. You're 39 or 40 or 42 years old, and you still believe that you've got something in your account at this bank that you can withdraw. How many of you truly believe that? Because understand something, even without the kids, you do understand that everything above overdrafts, if you've got all those things, or even most of them, your account is still overdrawn. Do you understand that? Even if you don't have kids or tattoos, ladies, simply by virtue of playing the field too long, staying out there on the field too long is enough to zero out your account. That by itself, when you've aged out, that on its own will zero out your account, ladies. How many of you understand that that's how it ends? It's about time that we dealt with it. Gone ahead and open up the phone lines. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business. It's your personal access code to go ahead and discuss this. We are talking about, ladies, when you have played the field too long, when you stayed out there far longer than you should have, you were a prime draft pick, but you were just loving the limelight, you were loving the attention. You were so busy out there soaking it up, you were just loving it that you didn't leave. You didn't get going while the getting was good, 'cause you were loving the attention. So go ahead, get on the phone line. I want to hear from you. Let's see if we can get caller from area code 816. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason, this is Lacole calling from Kansas City.
Okay, did you say Lacole?
Yes, Lacole from Kansas City. Yes, sir.
All right, Lacole, what's on your mind?
All right. So, Jason, per usual, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to dovetail on what you've been saying. I've been in the chat, Miss Looney Tunes in the chat, and everything I've been saying is true. Everything Jason's been saying is true. Any woman out there that thinks that she can bank on competing with these younger girls out here these ones that are just coming up and who are trying to do the most felonious and most chicanerous things. Y'all see them out there. And then you see the sad ones that are still out there single. You see the Mary J. Bliges. You see the Jill Scotts. And then you see some of the other ones, and you think, oh, my goodness, these women got it all. They got everything going on. What's their problem? They're uncoachable. They have too many bad withdrawals from the bank. Their account has been negative for decades. And they refuse to even acknowledge that. I have friends, Jason. I have friends that I've even tried to tiptoe this situation with. I tried to say, hey, homie, hey, you see how I'm living? I'm not going to put my business out there, Jason, but you know, I've been following you for years, and I don't live a bad lifestyle. I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst. I'm comfortable out here. My husband has made sure of that. And I've tried to tell my friends out there that don't live like me. Hey, this is what you do. They can't be told nothing, Jason. They uncoachable. I mind my business. Jason, I done lost friends. I done lost day ones. Trying to tell them, hey, what you did to him, that might not have been the right move, or maybe you should have gave this one a shot. Oh, well, you need to mind your business. Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, but I'm married. I'm married to a super producer. Jason, my husband and I were listening to one of your broadcasts in my truck the other day, and he found out that he was in your, top 8%? Again, not trying to put my business out there, but I had to cut your broadcast off at that time because his eyes got real big. He was like, dang, it's like that. And I didn't want him to know he had it like that. You know what I mean? Because now he's going to be trying to explore different options, and that's a whole different broadcast. But what I'm saying is that you're right. You are absolutely right. Everything, I followed your formula. Ladies, I followed Jason's blueprint. I'm a living example. And guess what? I don't work outside my house. I have a comfortable lifestyle. And if you think that he's wrong, if you in the comments, if you in the chat right now arguing, she don't know what she talking about. Okay. End up homeless, sad, bitter, working 3 jobs like a whole bunch of women I know. And I see them when I have time, when I feel like being around that type of energy. But that's all I had to say, Jason. I'm not trying to take it up. You know how it is when you broadcast, everybody trying to call in, and I know you have a few people to correct.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call as usual. Please do give us a call again. Some of you younger ladies would be well served to listen to somebody who's saying, hey, this is correct, because a lot of you can't be taught anything, even by the folks who've already been there and seen it, been there and done that. You might want to listen to some folks who've actually able to tell you, hey, I can confirm that. Let me get caller from area code 612. You're on live with the business. Caller from 612, last try, you're on live. Okay, caller from 612 is being abducted. Caller from area code 240, you're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Now I'm starting to feel like people might be playing on my phone. When I feel people are playing on my phone, I have to give out their number. Caller from area code 240, you're on live. Caller from area code 240, last try, you're on live. Okay, if anybody sees caller from 240-899-6439, be sure to see if they need medical attention. Caller from area code 910, you're on live with the business. Turn off your speakers. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
I wonder why they're in the situation they're in. Yes. What is your name? Where you're calling from?
My name is Samantha from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hello, Samantha from Fayetteville. What is on your mind?
Well, I was just watching the show, and I was soaking up the game, I guess you would say. And I just want to say I agree with what you're saying, especially when you talk about the withdrawals and everything, making withdrawals from the account. Because you took it off the screen. I'm trying to remember everything I just read. It's kind of late, but like the weight gain. Well, I was married for 10 years, but the weight gain and the baggage and the age and all that, it makes a lot of sense. Because right after I got divorced, I tried to get back into the game, and I was kind of wondering why I was meeting the kind of guys I was meeting while I was meeting them. And since I've been watching you, now it makes a lot more sense why I was meeting them and everything. So I just
Okay, well, let me find out a couple of things here because that's a little intriguing. How old were you when you got divorced?
It was 6 years ago. I was 36 when we divorced.
Oh, she sounded about 60 on the line. You didn't live a rough life.
Yeah, I know.
Right. And you said you were 36 years old when you got divorced?
I'm 42 now.
Okay, you notice a lot of females like to get divorced in their 30s. By the way, you notice a lot of females like to get in their 30s and then I want to get divorced. Why did you get divorced?
Well, it wasn't my idea; it was my ex's idea.
Why did he want to get divorced?
Say that again.
Why did he want to divorce you?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but
it's not a long
story.
He
just said he didn't want to be married anymore.
Okay, why don't you be honest? Why did 80% of the divorces are filed by women. So if a man says he wants to be divorced, there's a reason. What was the reason he wanted to be divorced?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to stay on the phone too long, but he got hurt in an accident and basically said he wasn't in love with me anymore. So
wait a minute.
He didn't want to be married to me anymore.
He got hurt in an accident, but told you that he didn't want to be married anymore.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Because he had a brain injury and everything. So.
Oh, yeah, but no. Yeah, but no. You married him when you were 26. How long did you know him before you got married?
We were together about 3 years before we got married.
All right.
Something like that, or maybe 2 years.
Okay, so from the time you were 23, 24. So you knew him well over a decade. Can we just be honest? How many kids did you have?
We didn't have any.
You didn't have any children. Why not?
Well, that's probably a whole other story. But
it's not another story. Did he want to have children?
We never really talked about it.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. No. Let's not. Come on, baby. At this age in your life, you should be able to level about what happened. Don't start fabricating things. Why didn't you all have children?
Well, I'm not fabricating. It's just, thinking back on it, we never really talked about having kids. And then it just never happened.
Okay. So, you're saying that this man you were with never expressed a desire to have children.
Well, I wanted to have kids, just it never happened.
Okay, you wanted to have children, so why is it you all never had children?
I guess I've been asking that question too. Either I can't have kids or he was the problem. I'm not sure. I never took the time to get tested to see if something was wrong with my plumbing. And he did try to go get tested, and he got nervous about it and didn't stay.
There you go.
At the doctor.
All right. Okay, and now from the time that you were 23 to the time you were 36, can we be honest? How much weight did you gain?
Oh, let's see.
Let's keep
with the stress of the marriage and everything.
Go ahead.
Probably about maybe about 50 pounds, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was a problematic marriage the whole time. So
there you go.
So that's why I was saying I agree with you on the weight gain and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when you're married, you don't really think about it.
Right.
Because you're sure you're going to be married, then all of a sudden, you're divorced. It's like, oh,
Right.
hell, look at me.
Okay. When you were 23, about how much did you weigh back then?
Oh my God, I cannot remember.
Keep it real.
Probably about 150.
Okay.
Something like that.
And that's pretty much what I figured. I pretty much figured even back in your when he first met you, you were kind of on that fence and you didn't have a lot of leeway to add very much more weight. So you were just at the edge back then. And as long as you stayed on that fence, that would be okay. But if you tip over and start heading toward 170, that's it. He's out. And yeah. So when a woman wants to have kids but the man doesn't, that's because he's already thinking about escaping the marriage. So he's already got a ring on you.
Probably true.
He's already got a ring on you. He ain't gonna get kids because he's already like, hey, by the time I'm 35, I'm gonna be good at my job and everything and have some of this retirement stacked up. So, I'm gonna leave you where you at. And that's the way it goes. So ladies, take this as a cautionary tale. When a man, a man is planning to cash you out, it's not going, especially if he's a producer, it's not going to be a whole lot of arguments about it. When we start tiptoeing toward the door, it's not going to be a whole lot that can be done. Women marry men thinking he will change. Men marry women thinking she will stay the same.
Yeah.
And if you undergo,
but if the man's not really making a,
if you start undergoing radical changes from the woman that he met, understand you are evaporating all the reasons that he got with you in the first place. And what women will usually fall back on and say is, well, but we got older, the marriage, this, that, and the other. But here's the thing, and this goes both ways. Women don't care why a man isn't performing. All she knows is you're not performing. She doesn't care why y'all are behind on the rent. She doesn't care why the house got into foreclosure. All she knows is you aren't performing. That's it. Because no matter what the reason is, she's got to live with the consequences. Well, guess what? It goes the same way about you all. The man doesn't really care why you put on the weight. He doesn't care why you're not performing. He doesn't care why you're not the way you were when he met you. All he knows is he's got to live with this person that he didn't marry. He didn't agree to marry it. And when that happens, Katie barred the door. Literally anything can happen at that moment. Anything. I'll let you have the last word.
True. Well, yes, that is true. I've been watching the business, episodes of your broadcast the past couple of weeks or so, try to soak up the game and everything. And everything you're saying is dead on. And I have friends I'm going to have listened to this program, because just like where you were talking about the withdrawals, the overdrafts of the kids and stuff, a lot of young women don't understand that we have kids and STDs and tattoos. And I mean, you might find some men who are into all of that, but most men, the kind of man you're looking for, is not. So I try to tell the younger women I know that. So, but I just want to kind of give that story and say I agree with you, and thank you for taking my call. I was surprised I got on so quick.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 952. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. I'm Jeff. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Jeff from Minneapolis. What's on your mind?
I'm wondering, why does it seem like white women are so successful at capturing and landing big fish, black men, as far as producers?
Why
is that?
Well, the media certainly portrays that, and if people are very simplistic, that would be different. But when you say producers, tell me what income level that is to you, or what that means to you.
six-figure better.
Okay.
But
so six figures. Okay, six figures.
Like
six figures are better.
levels.
Wait a minute. Six figures are better. Now, my next question to you is:
6 figures are better.
how many men like that do you know in Minneapolis personally? Yeah,
maybe,
and that's my point.
a handful.
And that is my point. Is that if the only thing you do is watch TV and pay attention to headlines blurbed on Yahoo or whatever, if that's all you do, then yeah, you're going to come out with all kinds of screwy, wacky notions about everything, but it's not going to reflect reality, is the difference. So in the real world, you don't actually know any black men who make $150,000, $200,000 a year with white women. Those are the folk you see on TV. And these websites like Yahoo and Twitter and whatnot, they post that because if it bleeds, it leads. That's what agitates and gets attention. In the real world, it's no different. In the real world, it's no different. You might see a slight difference, a nuanced difference, but that's really all it really is. When we start going in the real world and start counting heads, you don't find it. It's a good anecdote, and don't get me wrong. I use the anecdote. I do know.
Look, I've come across several white women of high levels of attraction who have had no problems getting black men, football players, whoever, whatever, to do whatever.
But football players sleep.
Like
Football players sleep with everybody, so that's no accomplishment.
That's facts.
That's no accomplishment.
I don't know. Okay, so you're saying that this is just media generated. This is just propaganda.
I'm saying that there are some.
Why would they want to promote something that
they're not promoting it? I just said it.
Why would they want to promote something that historically in America was illegal?
I just said it. They're not promoting it though. They're not promoting it. They're just throwing it out there because it generates controversy and generates interest, but they're not promoting it. The only one that they are promoting is white men with black women, but they're not promoting black men with white women. You got black men getting locked up for it even now, so they're not promoting it. So what I'm saying is, does it exist? Yes. Are there lessons that you can learn from the cultural cohesion of these other groups? Because if you're more cohesive, you're going to be more organized. So are they more organized? Well, yeah, there's an argument to be made for that. But this idea that, what the numbers truly bear out, no. I mean, it's men who are producers are desired by everyone. There's no specific racial group that wants them.
I wonder if the white woman is more trained in her feminine role, and because I feel like a lot of black women have been so used to being the leader of the households and the man and the woman and the relationship and in the household, that when a black man who has resources and has
it's not so much that because I can show you Honey Boo Boo. I can take you up to the places in Oregon. The trailer parks in Oregon were shocking to me when I first went through there. It was shocking to me what I saw in Oregon. Shocking to me what I saw in West Virginia. I was just like, wow, the media, I'm talking about miles and miles of impoverished white people. And I was like, the media never talks about this. But what I will say is white women, these other ethnic groups that you're referring to, they have been versed in the ways of power. But then again, they also haven't been targeted. Black people as a group are targeted. So these other groups, their daughters have been raised in how to cultivate power, and they're raised in how to do what is necessary to get a certain reaction. Yeah, but it's cultural at that point. So that's what I was saying about before. Yeah, there are some cultural anecdotes that certainly can be used. And I've used them myself. Yeah, there are certain cultural anecdotes. But I also don't want us to read too much into it, because the conclusion that a person would draw from what you're saying is that there's some natural innate ability that white women have merely as a matter of being, And it's not merely as a matter of being. There are factors that come into play with that.
Maybe natural might not be the right word, but it could be definitely part of their customs to teach the little girls how to be little girls and let the boys be the men be the workhorses. I heard you use that word earlier.
Yes, but
and stay in her feminine role.
But that's what you're saying is correct. Femininity isn't something you really have to necessarily be, quote, taught. It's something biological. Something else has to come in and remove that. So the real thing is, okay.
Would you say that American society has done a good job of making the black female confuse her role as a woman with her role as also being a workhorse and a supporter and the head of the household?
Well, sure. But in addition to that, they've also financed it and subsidized it. So they targeted and subsidized that among black folk. And you actually are starting to see this overseas as well. In the Middle East, they are doing the same thing with Arab women over there. They're trying to teach them to be feminists and all that old crap. So they do this everywhere they go. It's not accidental. They do this everywhere they go.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, last question.
Say like tradition.
Last question.
All right, last question. Traditionally, here in America, the black woman has had to also be the disciplinarian. I know a lot of people I grew up with, they had to get their ass kicked by their mom when they did something wrong because, no dad was there. Do you think that could also contribute to the males seeking the exact opposite of that in his dating options, in his dating pool?
If your mother is a bad example, then by definition, yes, you are. If you enter a rebellious phase or whatever, yes. If your mother is a bad example, of course, that can encourage you and lead you to go in an opposing direction. Especially if you see your mother as a failure, if you see it as a failed direction, and if you've made up your mind that you don't want to repeat failures, then you might just take a simplistic approach that's like, okay, everything that even looks like back in that direction, I'm heading some other route. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 912. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from
Okay,
Georgia.
Take your phone off speaker. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to do that. Take your phone off speaker. It sounds like you're calling me from a restaurant kitchen or a restaurant where they do the dishes. So I don't know what everybody's doing tonight.
Is that better?
All right, what is your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Sharon, and I'm calling from Georgia.
Okay, Sharon, I don't know why you're still on speaker or whatever the case is, but I'm going to have to let you go if you can't get your phone sorted out.
Okay, that's fine. I'm at work, so it probably won't get no...
Okay, now she's actually speaking up. Amazing. Hell, she was actually speaking up there for a moment. Caller from area code 269. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Tony, calling from Maryland, DMV.
Hello, Tony from Maryland. What's on your mind?
Yes, I want to say I love your list of deposits and withdrawals, but there's one missing in the deposits that I want to add, and I think it's called character. And what I mean is by that is that a lot of women are bankrupt spiritually, morally, and emotionally. And you know that saying that says that your content can't take you where your character can't keep you. And so I feel like a lot of women that are not spiritual, because their character has been influenced by the media and by friends and family in the wrong way. And like you said, with Megan Thee Stallion and all the rest that they've been promoting to us, and that has caused them to suffer their downfall. But if the character's on that deposit list, that can last, that can stand the test of time when the looks fade and when the money fades and when the attitude and coachability becomes waning. You know what I mean?
Well, definitely. I would put that, though, under the category of attitude and coachability, because character is a subjective concept. But if she's open to being coached, then we can improve on her character. If she's got too much of her mama in her by the time we get to her, then she's too far gone to cultivate and make those changes. But definitely, and another thing is, what's bad character? How would you define as bad character? Criminal behavior? I mean, other than just the big ones that just really stick out, okay, that's illegal, all right, but what qualifies as, quote, bad character? Those bad character traits, I'm pretty sure, will come back to attitude issues, baggage, not being able to be coached, because the real problem with character is what are the behaviors you're exhibiting that we got to live with? What are the negative behaviors you're exhibiting that I got to live with? Character isn't something that you can really say, oh, there's your character. Let me put it over there in the corner next to our shoes. It's really about the behaviors. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Definitely want to send a thanks to everybody who has contributed to tonight's program through the Streamlabs, through the Super Chat, through the Cash App. Thank you very much for showing your support for tonight's program here. It's appreciated. Let me get caller from area code 718. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Yes, hello, Jason. My name is Claude. I'm calling from Bronx, New York. And
okay, did you say your name was Floyd or Cloyd?
Claude, like Dr. Claude Anderson.
Oh, Claude. Okay. And what's on your mind? Now, where at New York you're calling from?
Sorry, I got a bit of a stutter.
Okay,
but
where?
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, you're from Claude from the Bronx. What's on your mind?
All right. So I'm calling, Jason. I was listening to some of your earlier broadcasts, and I had decided to get into a new career path, and I had wanted to go into nursing. So I wanted to know from you, get your opinion. How would you feel would be the best way for me to go about it, for me to get the most out of it?
Okay, well, I think definitely you should go to nursing school. In your case, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, you're 25 years old. You need to invest the next 5 years of your life into it. Go for your BSN.
Okay.
You do that, you'll be set for the rest of your days.
Okay. All right. All right. Also, would there be anything other than that to kind of look out for?
Don't have any kids. Don't get wrapped up with any hood rats. You got a lot of Afro-Latinas up there. Don't let them get you wrapped up in no mess either. You're 25 years old. You need to be foot to the floor, shoulder to the wheel, stone cold about stacking up your money right now. Go ahead, get your BSN. That way you got a profession. You have a career and not just a job, and you can't be locked out of the market no matter where you go. You're always going to be making, if not six figures, damn near at six figures, no matter where you go in the country.
Gotcha. Also, one more question.
Okay.
My last one. I wanted to know what would be the best way for someone to get into rental properties.
You're not there yet.
Okay.
You need to get your income up before you can start talking about buying real estate.
Okay.
So
all right.
do that first. When you get over there, when you get done with this, you'll be over there. You ain't there yet. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Focus on one thing at a time, fellas. Let me get caller from area code 843. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
TVA is Tobias out of Phoenix.
Tobias out of Phoenix. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, a couple things. I listened last night also, and if that brother who was talking about he trying to get an IT still listening, security, cybersecurity, or like Cisco's your friend. I'm taking my cert for cybersecurity in November, so I'll be getting that done. But get those things straight, and you could pretty much just write your ticket. But some of the things like you were talking about, and one thing I think is too many women do cash their chips in too late, and they don't understand that they are in a competition, and that if a man of means has options, it's that if you're walking around in your late 30s with a small kid, you can hang it up. Dudes ain't signed up for it, no matter how fine you are. Bad attitude. Why suffer through the bad attitude? You have to understand, ladies, that, hey, it's like when you play blackjack. You got to leave that blackjack table before you lose all your money. If you got a man, a brother who's willing to do whatever it takes to increase your lifestyle, you have to hop on that wagon, because once that bus leaves, it ain't coming back. You remember Stone Cold Steve Austin's mama? She had 3 kids. That dude came around. She hopped on it. She didn't mess around. she wasn't trying to be a jerk to him, she hopped on it. And I think too many of our women don't understand there's only a finite number of producers and workhorses who's willing to increase their lifestyles.
Well, I will say that among other groups of people here, they don't teach them to play the field too long. They teach them to scout out good talent and then get the hell off the field. They don't teach them to sit up here and, do it yourself. It's part of their culture that they understand how power works. Power increases itself by cooperating and organizing with other people, using their resources, co-opting their resources, leveraging and taking advantage of the resources of others, not simply relying on your own efforts. Because in black society, we have a bunch of independent people who are having generational perpetual poverty, because if you don't cooperate with other people and collaborate with them, then that becomes a problem. So that's certainly where we end up here today. What do you think about them playing the field too long, Tobias? They're enjoying themselves in their 20s. Hot girl summer turns into hot mess spring. What do you think of this idea here that they just loving the attention, they're loving the shine when they're in their 20s, the party ain't never going to end, and they'll get ready to leave the field when they get ready to leave?
I hate to break it to them. It's going to be hot girl summer going to become old woman winter. Real quick. It happens real quick. And I think I said this before. I want the ladies, like there's a part on I Think I Love My Wife, that Chris Rock movie, and Kerry Washington was in the mid-30s, and she said, I thought I could play the field, I could have a good time, but when I walk into the club, I got to compete with a 23-year-old, and her character's like late 30s. If a man has options, why is he going to be with a woman who's in her 30s and up, who acting like she's a college girl going to Black Bike Weekend? Why want that? You don't want that. And I think these women, there's a lot of immaturity as well. And the one thing you said also, Jason, was talking about like the independent thing. You know this, and it what a lot of guys, this is not tricking. A woman buying herself a pair of red bottoms is no accomplishment. Her man buying her a pair of red bottoms is an accomplishment. And I don't care what any lady says, because if a man gives her money to get her hair done or buy her red bottom, her man, she tell her friend. A lot of men who producers take pride in that. And that's where that co-op thing comes into. So I just say these ladies just keep wanting to think they could party away their 20s, have a baby by this guy, meaning that you're in a financial body. Now you're in your 30s, you say, hey, I had my fun, but you're coming at me with a financial burden that I didn't create. And you got and your body was full of stretch marks, pretty much me buying a car that I didn't take any depreciation on. You have to understand your choices may going to be a little bit more limited there. And you got to understand, in your 20s is your prime time to get that man. Look at Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend. That white girl put the claws in him quick. He signed that $400 million contract. She got the claws in him quick. She was with him in college, and she got the claws in him. She ain't messing that up to start playing the field. She hit the gold mine. Why she going to play the field? She got it right there, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing right there, brother. It's when you're at the top of your game, when you're at the top of your viability, you don't just keep running around on the damn field. We haven't taught the daughters out here that, you know, your sex organ isn't an amusement park ride. You need to understand that that's one of your assets. You as a woman, you have a walking asset, but it's for a very limited window. It has a very limited shelf life. And you might wish you could just run around forever, but the truth of the matter is you've got a very limited shelf life on it. And then after that, you can keep using it, but there will not be the resources attached to it anymore. That's where the problem comes in. Now you're going to have to start working. Now nobody is bringing you unearned goodies and unearned rewards. Now you got to work for what you get. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason?
Yes, you're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason, you know who it is. It's Golightly.
Hello, Golightly. What's on your mind?
Jason, if I may, you had a caller maybe 3 callers ago. He mentioned something very important that I wanted to share with you. He asked a question regarding white women, and he said part of their customs to teach girls to be, within their feminine roles. And Jason, that is very, very, very true. Very, very true. Jason, I went to prep school in Dallas, and I was the only Black person. I really did not even notice this until I was in my 20s. But I was single-handedly the only Black girl. But keep in mind what I'm learning and the books that we are reading. Jane Austen, these Victorian novels, all they do, this is the blueprint, the handbook when it comes to husbandry, animal husbandry. This is what white women have been using for over a century as to how, when, who to choose as a mate. This author outright is telling white women, Victorian English white women, that marriage is single-handedly the most important decision. It is your security as a woman and your children. This is what white women have been using throughout the late 19th and throughout the 20th century. So I just wanted to share that and answer his question that, yes, it is true and very, very correct. Look at all of these authors. Jane Austen, Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte. I mean, I could go on, but this is what they use. It is the handbook. E.M. Forster, how important to choose the right man and to choose a man of wealth. How, when, their families all get involved with this. They do so very, very early. And Tobias just mentioned Patrick Mahomes. This was planned. This is what these women do, these girls do. It is by no surprise. You look at Elliot Rodgers, he became very, very bitter because he's thinking, oh, he's white, but not really. He was not. These white girls specifically are going after men of means. They do so. They have made this a science. They have read the book. They study how to do these things. That is why it's not just that Black men are choosing these white women out of nowhere. They specifically put themselves in a position to be in the presence of these men.
Well,
and now you look.
Let me go a little bit further into that there. And I will say in the chat room, if you are not respectful, you will be gone. There's a lot of y'all who need to listen. There's a lot of you who need to listen. The problem is too many Black males, a lot of y'all who are listening in the chat room. The reason why you're broke, bummy, and undesirable is because you spent your life being the ADHD back of the classroom class clown, and you haven't actually tried to become an intelligent individual. And even though it's a little late for you, this might be your chance to actually learn something. Your mama was a bit of a hoe. She kind of raises class clowns, but nobody here values you being a class clown. As I was explaining to the caller earlier, other groups of people have cultures where the females are trained to complement the males of that group. In Oriental society, Asian girls or Chinese girls, Korean, Japanese, they're raised to complement the men. Indian society, same thing. Latino society, white society. Black society lacks a independent power structure, and as such, we are very vulnerable to tampering by outside forces. We're very vulnerable to tampering by it. And because of that, it's made a situation where the females don't really know how to complement the men as a group. For example, how many powerful Black males has the average Black female from the age of 10 to the age of 20? How many actual powerful Black males has the average Black female been around? How many?
That's a very important question, and we know it's quite minimal. We know that.
Now, that's something to keep in mind. When you have a situation like that, that's the kind of thing that you have to keep in mind. That have we actually raised them for the purposes of being able to understand that these are the men that you are going to have to deal with. How many powerful black men have they been around so that they can learn, hey, this is the way you comport yourself. Let me see from example. This is what I was saying last night. When you take a look at why women can't pick a winner. You can't pick a winner if you weren't raised around winners. The degrees of separation, between the average white female, I'm talking about from the age of 10, the degrees of separation from the average white person to somebody who has $1 million is about 2 degrees of separation. Among black folk, it's 6 or 7 degrees, and that's usually it leads to a white person. Now, of course, there are systemic reasons for that, which we understand. But just understand, as black people, the average black girl hasn't been raised around people who have power, wealth, influence, hasn't been raised around them. And with that missing,
that was not the case,
that's a critical element that is missing.
But that was not always the case, Jason. Remember, if we think in the early 20th century,
that has always
Black
been
America,
the case.
Black families,
that has always been the case.
But if I may, remember there was a time, and I'm sure many in the chat, their grandmothers would attend charm school. Their grandmothers would attend finishing school. You would have, particular parties, courtiers, you would like courtesans where you would go and
but what you're getting into now is the pre-feminism era. We don't have charm schools.
That's of course.
What you're talking about is anachronisms, okay? We don't have charm schools anymore. Not as a factor in daily life. We don't have charm schools anymore.
Right.
Hell, you barely got you barely have home economics classes anymore. Barely.
And back then there was Black Union. It's very difficult now.
Okay, but as a society, remember, I did the documentary about this, okay? Madam C.J. Walker was raised on a plantation, and she got with some well-to-do black women in Missouri. And, they saw this little plucky duck-looking country girl, and as a community, as a group, they took her under their wing to get her straight. Today, we got to have YouTube channels to discuss this because the black women aren't even discussing this with their daughters. There isn't a group contingent that does that. Truth be told, among white women, there isn't quite so much either. But when you have more organized cultures, they can at least get it by example. Now, their numbers of desirability have also been falling off a cliff, which is why you have the white red pill movement to begin with. So it's not all sugar and roses over there by any stretch of the imagination. Everybody's feeling the heat. Black folk is usually getting the most of it. But it's not a result that everything is going fine over there. You're seeing a decline across the board. But as black folk, we just haven't had what's the difference? We just haven't had the advantage of the cultural example, which is really the last thing left. You don't have it in public schools. You don't really have charm schools anymore. Even as far as taking the example of other people, that's what's missing now. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 225. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Yeah, hi, Jason. It's Leslie from Baton Rouge.
Hello, Leslie. What's on your mind?
Oh, just want to chime in on this good topic. I'm over what they say. You're against the wall, up over the wall. You hit the wall.
Yes.
I'm on the other side of the wall.
Okay. She said she done did all of them. Everything you can do with the wall, she done did it. She's saying everything you can do with the wall, she done did it. She done hit it. She's over it. She's under it. She's through it. All right.
Yeah, I'm in another galaxy away from the wall.
All right.
But I wanted to chime in about how this matriarchy has killed our community. And I grew up under a single mother who she didn't really I don't know that she respected the father, the patriarchal system, because although she got knocked up, she still was able to get a good man after she got knocked up, but she didn't know how to hold it together.
Yeah,
there's my grandmother
and
died
there's the problem.
young.
And there's the problem right there. Because this is what we usually run into. We're always hearing about folks talking about, oh, well, my mama was a single mother. This woman I know was a single mother, and she got a good man. But there's always two questions. Number one, could she keep him? And number two, even if she did, define a good man. Because here's the question. Bottom line, Leslie, you know full well as a woman, I mentioned this last night, women have an unspoken expectation of a man. That when she gets with a man, that this man is going to deliver all her hopes and dreams. That she is going to be living an above average life as a result of knowing this man. It is the unspoken agreement, the unspoken expectation that all women have. And the real question, at the end of the day, if you are not a man who can deliver to a woman a much better life than what she had, then she doesn't consider you to be a good man. She doesn't. She tolerated you, but at the end of the day, if you couldn't transform her life, she doesn't really consider you to be a good man, and she's always going to be holding out, hoping that she can get maybe transition out to a better offer. Now, about the man that your mother married, what did he do for a living?
He was military, then as a truck driver, then he
there you go.
Now I think he's back to truck driving.
Yeah, there you go. Now, for where she was in life, that's probably the best she could do. And eventually it sinks into a woman that, okay, I'm not going to be able to transition out. I just got to make the best of what I've got because I withdrew too much. When I was young, I made too many mistakes, and I will not be allowed to recover from them. Even though I feel like I was young and stupid. Okay, that's not going to protect you. You were young and you were not stupid. You were young and selfish. And now there will be a penalty. And some penalties are temporary, but a lot of them are permanent. And you're like, well, hell, but like I say, if you play, you will pay. And here's what I got to ask you. When your mother was 25 years old, like, for example, you say he was in the military, now he's a truck driver. Did he retire from the military?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Maybe there's some...
He's the guy that I truly, he's not my biological father, but he's a guy that I truly respect and love. That says a lot for me.
That's fine.
But
and that's
respect
good.
And love him because I believe that if she had been trained, if my grandmother hadn't died young, if she had been trained, she could have done something with him. See, everybody is not going to be able to get a Jason Black. The millionaires and our black millionaires are not falling off of trees over here. So if you get a truck driver, a blue collar dude, a plumber, somebody who got a work ethic.
Okay. Let me deal with that.
Know how to.
Let me deal with that. I have got to address that. Let me address that real quick. There have been a bunch of posers out here, and they really hijacked the foundation that I laid. And they've taken talking points, and high value has been corrupted into something that I never told people that it was. And so folks who don't have high value, don't know anybody with high value, they've distorted what I've taught people. Let me explain something to you. I want to ask you all a question. For those of you who've never had to actually live it, and Leslie, you and I are both from Louisiana, so listen carefully. What can you do with $80,000 that you can't do with $100,000? Because you've all been kind of fooled and bamboozled and hoodwinked into not knowing what money is really worth. What can you do with $120,000 that you can't do with what can you do with 120 that you can't do with 100? What can you do with 150 that you can't do with 120? What can you do with 200,000 that you can't do with 150,000? What are you gonna do?
And what can you do with 120,000 if you live off of 90,000?
Okay, well, Leslie, no, Leslie. Okay, Leslie, just pump your brakes and soak up the game for a minute. Okay, you're not getting the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
You all have been misled as to what your goals are and should be. You've been misled. Let me explain to you why. If you want to buy and I'm just going to make this as an example. If you want to buy a brand new BMW 6 Series, let's just say that's the car you want to buy. You can afford that car if you make $120,000 a year. You can also afford that car if you make $100,000 a year. It depends on what are your goals. Do you want to have a $300,000 house? You can afford that house if you make $150,000 a year. You can also afford that house if you make $100,000. Folks have not actually had to sit down and decide, okay, what is I want? The truth of the matter is, well, yeah, a dude might be in a position to buy a Bentley. A dude might be in a position to buy an Aston Martin. But does your woman actually want an Aston Martin? Now, would she take it if you gave it? Well, yeah, but is that actually what she wants? Is it? Now, if it is, we have a different conversation. But the truth of the matter is, I don't think your mother would know an Aston Martin from Steve Martin. So it would be nice, I suppose. But the truth of the matter is, those are expectations that weren't even made of you. Now, your woman does know what an Audi is. She does know what a BMW is. She does know what a $300,000 house is. She does know that. She does know that. But expectations matter a lot. So the man might be, he doesn't have to be Jason Black. He doesn't have to be Don Peebles, truth be told. The real issue is, because let me go ahead and lay down y'all some stone cold dark arts of game. The average man doesn't try to find out anything about the woman he's with as far as her hopes, dreams, and expectations. The man usually wants much more for her than she wants for herself. But it would do us a lot of good to pick a woman's brain and find out how much does she know. Now, this is real straight level arts of game. This is straight level arts of game. Fellas, have you actually asked your woman how much she knows about cars? While you're fretting over which one to buy her, have you actually even asked her how much she knows? Picked her brain to find out. Does she know the difference between Alcantara and any other substance? Does she know the difference between crystal and glass in a car? Does she know the difference between real wood trim and that plastic stuff they put in? Which General Motors is so great for doing, by the way. And Ford is quickly catching up. Even the Germans, quote, real wood is not what it used to be. We tend to psych ourselves out and say, oh, be like this cat over here. When the reality is, you don't, let me just lay some straight game on y'all. I'm giving you the business. You don't have to be Jason Black. All you have to do is be better than the last two guys she was with. You don't have to beat Jason Black. You just have to beat those two guys. That's all. If you can beat them, you can get her in the door. Now, as far as maintaining that position, it's time to start picking some brains. It's time to start asking some questions. Most men don't do that. So they never actually know where ground zero is, and they never actually know what the standard actually is. They don't actually know. So if you could decipher that and figure that out, all of a sudden you're overachieving. But if you don't even ask, you don't know what the standard is. And that's what usually happens. Now, if your stepdad was in the military and then was a truck driver, baby, do you realize he pretty much could have taken, if he retired from the military with his full military retirement, and was he a coast-to-coast driver or local?
Coast to coast.
Okay. So in other words, he was probably making $80,000 a year, if not $100,000, just from truck driving, assuming he wasn't, just sitting around. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. He was a hard worker, great dude. Okay. I mean, he adopted me. I mean, how many men want to walk into a ready-made family, a ready-made burden?
Most of us don't.
A dude that's a deadbeat and just leaving you with his responsibility. Well, so that right there,
most of us
in
don't.
the 73, I was born.
Yeah.
And
that was it.
That right there. But then she didn't know. My mom she was spoiled. She was, light skinned. She had the shape.
Well, I mean, the
she
civil
always was thinking she can do better.
Yeah, the civil rights generation really squandered all their opportunities. The civil rights generation really squandered a lot. They ushered in the bastard baby epidemic with most of the females figuring, it doesn't matter how bad I act. There'll be some simp out there who will take me off the market, and because that's what men are, quote, supposed to do. So entitlement issues have always been a big issue here. But here's the real thing. So with his retirement, plus what he was making as a truck driver, baby, there was no reason he couldn't get her $80,000 car if he wanted to. He could do it easily. There's no reason, unless she's just a chick who's just determined to have an Audi R8 or something. But could she even do anything with that? So the real thing is, how much higher are you trying to go? How much higher are you really trying to get to? And is that something that you need, or is that something you just want? How much higher are you really trying to go? So just in all reality, I understand what you're saying, and it's very flattering. But truth be told, the bar is not. You do realize, while other folks out here are distracting you all with this talk about the top 10%, do you all realize that if you're making in the neighborhood of $70,000, $60,000, $70,000, you're in the top 20%?
I understand.
If you're making,
I understand the scarcity of men, and I understand the how golden a man who is a worker, a producer, like you said, 50, 70,000 in Louisiana. If you got a woman that's halfway worth something, y'all can live okay.
Well, but think about this.
Okay. I mean, you can always do better.
The top 13%.
If you got a woman who's she got a little bit of entrepreneurship or a little bit of go about herself, y'all be okay. You'll be able to retire earlier.
Well, that can come in handy, definitely. But certainly, like I say, you don't have to. I think guys really would serve themselves well if they get in touch with where the ground floor really is. But they need to talk to their women and find out what her expectations are. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Folks, if you're making $90,000 a year, you're in the top 13%. If you make $90,000 a year, you're in the top 13%. If you make $60,000, $70,000 a year, you're in the top 20%. Did you realize that? If you're making $60,000, you're in the top 20%. $60,000, $70,000, you're about in the top 20%. Depending on which study you're looking at. Now, granted, $60,000, $70,000 is really not balling out of control, but remember, compared to the rest of the population, that is your competition. Okay, now let's be clear. If you're making $70,000 a year, you're hella vulnerable. Yeah, you might be in the top 20%, but nigga, you vulnerable. So don't sit here patting yourself on the back. Being at the bottom of that top 20%, you are still very vulnerable. Don't sit here and think you're safe. Don't think you're safe. But you are competitive. And your job is to turn that 70,000 into 140. Not necessarily be through income, but you should start learning, okay, what do I got to do to invest this and turn this 70,000 into 140? That's what you should be looking for. Caller from area code 651, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, caller from 651 has been abducted. Caller from area code 832, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason, I'm Alexandra from Houston.
Hello, Alexandra from Houston. What's on your mind?
I want to ask a general question. I just want to know why, after a couple years of marriage, the sex goes down.
After a couple of years of marriage, the sex goes down from you or from him?
The frequency.
From Let me try this a second time. You're not listening very well. From you or from him?
Initiation from him.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think it's gone down?
Honestly, I went through all types. I don't know if he's cheating, but I don't want to be insecure. I don't know if it's just a normal thing because we're not dating anymore, because when we were dating, we did it much more.
Okay. Well, okay. I didn't ask you that. I said, why do you think it's happened? If that's your husband, you don't know your husband?
It could be. I know him. It could be a little bit of work. Sometimes he claims he's tired because he has a physical job.
Okay.
But he thinks I expect too many rounds, and he thinks 4 times a week is too much.
Let's check a couple of things here. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, you're 31 years old. How long you been married?
3 years.
Okay, that's not
next month. It'll be 3 years.
Congratulations. That's not terribly long. I want you to. Are you and I friends on Facebook?
No, Jason.
Okay. I would like for you to email me your Instagram.
Okay, I don't really have social media.
Okay, that's not a very good sign, because every female in her 30s got social media today. So if you start off talking about you ain't got it, that means I have to ask you how much you weigh.
I'm 130 right now.
Okay, you sound a bit heftier than 130, so I really need to see something that validates that, because the first thing women start doing is misrepresenting things that they know are obvious problems in order to avoid the truth.
Yeah.
So why don't you do?
I have gained weight.
Okay.
But
you've gained weight you've gained weight to 130. Really?
Well, I cook a lot.
Okay.
He has me in the kitchen all the time.
Ma'am,
so
all the time. There's not all the time in the world. If he works so much, how does he have you in the kitchen all the time? What you're saying is contradicting itself.
Because I'm expected to cook every day.
Okay, but if he works, you're not.
Even when I get home from
you're
work.
not in the kitchen all the time if he works, ma'am. That's physically impossible unless he works at your home.
No, I mean, I'm in the kitchen. I'm always cooking for him.
Okay, how are you always cooking if you're working? How are you always cooking if you're working? Do you see how you?
When I get home.
Okay, do you see how you're? Okay, then you. Okay, ma'am, you cannot be in the kitchen, quote, all the time if you are working.
Well,
by definition,
I cook every day is what I mean.
Okay, you cook every day. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. When we were dating, we went out to eat a lot. He took me out.
Listen to me.
A lot.
Okay, listen, because this is not helping you. I need for you to come to reality. How many kids do you have?
None.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Not yet.
Okay, why do you think that is?
Well, we had an agreement when we got married 3 years ago that we were going to wait 3 years and until we got our house to start trying for a baby.
Here's what I want from you. You're going to need to send me something that validates what you look like here, because I'm just going to be straight with you. You sound like a good size 14.
Oh, God.
Oh,
okay.
I'll
take that, Jason, even though that's not true.
Okay. Then why are you sitting up here being deceitful about your social media?
I do not have social media, and I haven't had it in a while because I don't feel like I need validation from strangers online.
Okay.
That's a simple thing.
Okay. 100.
So
okay.
I do take pictures.
Okay. How tall are you at 130 pounds?
I'm 5'3".
Okay.
So I'm pretty short, but my husband is tall, but I'm short.
Okay. Even at 5'3", 130 pounds.
I know it's pushing it now.
Okay.
I know it's pushing it.
Yeah, I know we're pushing it.
I'm not delusional on that end, but I'm just saying.
All right.
4 times a week or 3 times a week is not too much to me.
Okay, ma'am.
It's just not.
Okay, how much weight have you put on since you got married?
I gained about 15 pounds.
First she said 20, now she's saying 15.
Something like that. Jason, come on now. You know what I'm trying to ask you.
Okay. Let me just ask you one more question here, okay?
Because I know you're going to tell me the truth. So I'm just asking.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me find out one more question here then. Who is your cell phone carrier?
AT&T.
Oh, good. That means you can talk and text.
Oh, you want me to send you a picture?
Oh, yes. I want you to send me a selfie right now. From the waist up. No face selfies. I'd like you to send me a selfie from the waist up. And to make sure, I want you to be holding up hold the phone in your right hand and make the peace sign with your left hand. And then I want you to email that to me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com.
Handlethebusiness@yahoo.com.
Correct. That's my email address, handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. And that way we can go ahead and clear that matter up. And by the way, while you're doing that, I know you're multitasking here. How old is your husband?
He's 31. We're exact same age.
Congratulations. How long have you actually known him?
We got married the same year that we met.
You got married the same year that you met. Okay.
Yes, we met in February.
You hopped on him.
We got married in October.
So you mean you hopped on him quick. Is your husband black?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, you didn't waste no amount of time. You jumped, what'd she say? I'm in my late 20s. This is the last train leaving.
Hey, didn't you say play the field too long now?
I'm not waiting.
I was right at the tail end.
She said, this is the last train leaving. I am on it. Well, you at least you did that part right. What does he do for a living?
He works in a factory, at a press factory here at Halliburton in Houston.
Oh, okay. He works for Halliburton. Okay. So
yes.
She got her nigga with some benefits.
Now, I don't know if it matters or not, but he is not American black. He's Congolese, and he was born in France.
Okay, there you go. There you go. All right. I was waiting on that to come through. Ma'am, you are a good damn size 14, 16. This is what I mean right here. Now, you just sat here on my phone talking about 130 pounds. How much do you actually,
am I ugly though?
Ma'am,
am I an ugly woman?
Dear,
Be straight.
Dear, you and Lizzo are in a foot race right now. And Lizzo is winning.
Oh, come on now.
You and Lizzo are in a foot race, and Lizzo is winning. And if you wanted me to be brutally frank, you know what? I'm just going to be brutally frank with you here. That gap in your front teeth is not helpful. You're 31 years old. Go see an orthodontist. Those chest tattoos you got, that ain't cute.
Okay.
The fake fingernails. The fake eyelash, you got fake fingernails, fake eyelashes, you got that rope yarn hair and chest tattoos.
They're Havana twists.
Baby, your man is sleeping with the block because he needs somebody to motivate him. And this is the opposite of motivation. You are a good size 16 at 5'3". You ain't gained no 20 pounds. You've probably known this man 5 to 7 years, and you've probably put on closer to 60. And you're refusing to be honest with yourself. I'm not going to sit up here and show your picture, but since you and I both seen it, let's keep it 100. This man is not sexually attracted to you. There ain't nothing to be sexually attracted to. I'm just going to keep it all the way real.
That's what I figured.
There
Jason.
is nothing. Okay, the real thing is what the hell happened to you? What happened?
Happy weight, just being in the house, not going nowhere.
But you just said you work.
Well, I do, but when I get off of work, what else is there to do but come home?
Whoa.
Cook,
bull
watch
jive.
TV,
Oh, bull
go to
jive.
sleep.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Y'all always got a damn excuse for something. Just stop it. A man don't care what your funky ass excuses are. All he knows is you ain't got the job done. And if he doesn't eat at home, he will eat out. You have broken the agreement. Do you understand that?
Okay.
You broke the
I hear you,
agreement. When he married you, the agreement was that you would stay the way you were. You broke it. Well, I got this nigga where I want him. I'm in good. I got legal binding. He's bound to me legally now, so I can just tear my ass. I don't have to uphold the agreement anymore. I can break the agreement. Nigga, you married to me and the courts will enforce it. And now he's dragging you. He's dragging you.
Okay.
Now the real question is that what you want?
No, that's not what I want.
There are plenty of women who work. There are plenty of women who work. And plenty of women who work and they make the time to go to the gym. You know what? Your man would rather go to Chipotle and you hit the damn gym. I gotta cook for him. That nigga don't care about you cooking for him. He wants somebody who matches what the hell he's doing. Yeah, he works at Halliburton, but I got a question for you. What kind of car does he drive in Texas?
He has an Acura.
Oh, hell. What year?
2020.
Oh, hell. So let me get this straight. Your man has a brand spanking new, bottom of the line, but Japanese luxury car for the dudes who love their Japanese cars. So he's got a brand spanking new Acura, Japanese luxury car. Baby, do you look like an Acura?
I guess not.
No. Let's not play that game. Do you look like an Acura, ma'am?
No, I do not look like an Acura.
The man,
from the way you tell it, I'm a big body, 1978, whatever.
Okay, Buick Roadmaster. And I'm saying this to say, baby, he married you quick. What makes you think he ain't gonna leave you quick? Now, you got a man, hey, quiet. You got a man who's working. You got a man who loved you enough to marry you in this day and age, and you wasn't in your prime then. Show this man enough respect. Show him enough respect that you appreciate the fact that he took you off them streets and you are not unclaimed. In a day and age where, let me find out, was your mama married?
Yeah, my mom's married. My parents been married for 20 years.
Okay. How'd that work out for her?
They're still married.
Okay.
To this day.
And do you think that she is the man that you're with in a better financial position than the man that she's with?
No.
Yeah.
He could get there, but
okay, no. Get there me ass.
No, he ain't there. He not there.
What does your mother's husband do for a living?
He's in the military.
He ain't doing if he's in the military, even if he was serving for life, I doubt he's doing better than Halliburton. And the upside of it's going to be a lot further. What I am going to tell you here is, by the way, did your mother, you said they've been married for 20 years. You're 36 though.
I'm 31.
I'm sorry,
They've been married for 20 years.
31. So she had a kid when she met him.
No, they had me before they got married.
Oh, hell, he held out for over a decade?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I wanted to sit up here and say, stop the bull jive. Your mama's husband left her hanging for over a damn decade with a kid, with his kid, and was like, that heifer be all right. He wasn't going to put nothing down on it. The man you got didn't leave you out there like that. Didn't leave you out there like that. And this is the thanks he gets? So you're not one of them chicks in Texas talking about ain't no good black men, they're taking care of me, and they just leave it out here, they all want the white women. Okay, you got it.
I can't say that.
And the appreciation you have shown to him is, well, damn, nigga, I got you now, so let me just blow the hell up on you, because we's married. So, okay. You know what? You owe him a side chick.
Get it together.
You owe him a side. Either get it together or you owe him a side chick. That's just it. That's just it. In this day and age.
Me then?
Baby, look here. If you think you're going to get somebody else to take care of you, you go ahead and try that mess. You can get sex anywhere. Tell me where you're going to get a producer who's going to provide for you.
Few far and in between.
You can go get some chubby chaser off of Facebook. Some fresh out the joint nigga who'll lay up with you. Show me if he'll pay some damn bills. Mr. Halliburton is doing that. Don't come up here talking crazy. All these dumb females, I can get some sex. Yeah, you can get some sex. Can you get a producer? Oops, no, not really.
Well, that ain't what I want to do, Jason. But if you're telling me I should let the man cheat because I gained some weight,
I'm saying you should get serious about keeping your man. Say whatever in the hell y'all want to about Cardi B. Cardi B got tired of them damn strip clubs. She got tired of getting trains run on her. She got tired of getting run through by niggas that couldn't do nothing. And when she finally got a shot to be on TV, somebody on one of the networks must have put a bug in her ear and let her know, hey, we getting ready to cycle out Nicki Minaj. You could be up next if you get some things together. She went off and got the plastic surgery. She went off to go get, depending on who you believe, either an orthodontist to get braces, although we're not sure if it was braces, or if she got veneers. But the bottom line is she couldn't grow no breasts, so she bought some. She couldn't grow no ass, so she bought one. She couldn't rearrange her teeth, so she bought some. And at least she presents a hell of a lot better than she did. You know what that says to a man? That says to a man that you recognize you throw the hell off and you take the problem seriously. That you understand you ain't up to code, but you take the problem seriously. And all a man wants to see is that you are trying. You want to get your man off your ass? Show him that you're trying. Show him that you got enough respect for him that even though you ain't a 2020 Acura, you ain't a 2020 BMW, you feel he deserves one. And that you are trying to be his everything. Don't bring him the heinous, hateful disrespect that he's out there busting his ass for you. And let me tell you something. I've worked for a contractor for Halliburton. There ain't no such thing as an easy job at Halliburton unless you was Dick Cheney. Right. That man does hard-ass manual labor. Hard-ass labor in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. He didn't buy that Acura. He wants the Acura because he wants some sort of payoff for what the hell he's doing so he can keep himself motivated for it. And obviously he's continuing to work because truth be told, do you really need to work?
No.
Okay.
I work because I want to.
Thank you. So you got a man who you really just working because you trying to keep your options open so you can be difficult. Damn that. And if the man left you tomorrow,
I'm working because I like to shop, Jason.
Okay. If that man left you tomorrow, you're gonna be on your ass. At 31, who's gonna take you off the market like this? So what I'm saying is he would much rather, if you were really serious, you don't have to work. Here is my advice to you. When your husband has a day off, don't you hit him with this bull jive when he got to go to work. You understand me?
Yes.
When your husband has another day off, and yes, in the words of the DOC, I'm yelling it because nobody else is telling it. The next day your husband has a day off, you tell him, baby, I need to talk to you. He gonna hit you with that Congolese accent. Yeah, but what would you like to talk about? You know, I work, I do things, what you want me to do. Baby, I am not happy with me the way I am. I don't represent you well. And I want to represent you better. I want to dedicate the next 6 months of my life getting myself looking as good as your damn car does. Can we do that?
Yes.
I'm saying you need to say it to him. Will you let me spend the next 6 months getting myself looking like your damn car because I'm not happy, I don't think that you're happy, and I want to represent you well. Now, if he says no to that, you're too far gone.
Okay.
If he says no, he doesn't see any benefit in getting you straight. But I don't predict that's going to be the case. And even if it does, you better argue his ass down. You better argue him down. Yes. If he doesn't say yes, you better argue him down till he does.
After he says yes.
After he says yes, baby, you gonna get you a dietitian, a nutritionist, and a personal trainer. And from the time the sun goes up to the time the sun goes down, you are going to get yourself eating vegetables, and you are going to live by every word that comes out of the mouth of your dietitian and your trainer.
And stay out of the drive-thru.
You ain't gonna come near nothing look like a drive-through, a driveway, or a drive-train.
Okay.
Because I've got it on very good authority, ma'am. This is the last train leaving for you. If this man cuts you loose, if he cuts you loose, if you think you're going to find another one at size 16 and 33 years old, I'm 31. You going to be 33 when he gets finished divorcing. You think you're going to get another one? Baby, you better do like Gerald Levert, baby. Hold on to me. This is it. I'm telling you, this is it for you.
Well, he's not my first husband, so...
He's not your first husband. So you done struck out once already. You got damn lucky and got another one, and she getting ready to fumble the ball again. Again.
I mean, the no kids help. You saw the tattoos, but I knew if I had a kid, it would have been harder, but I don't, so.
You're already coming to him. Do you realize how many of the factors that I set up here and listed for deposits and withdrawals? Baby, the only one you ain't brought, I don't know about your STDs, but hell, I ain't got the kids. You got the tattoos. And for the weight, remember what I said.
Listen.
Okay, man, but you listen. Here's the problem. The problem isn't about you listening. The problem is you're supposed to be proactive. We ain't even supposed to get this far because now do you realize you've generated bad feelings? You've generated bad feelings. This man feels some kind of way. Simply on account of the strength of you putting him through this, he feels some kind of way. And he's demonstrating to you that he feels some kind of way. When the man get home from Halliburton...
He's demonstrating that by having sex once a week.
He's demonstrating it by refraining from having sex. That's supposed to be a biological response. That's not supposed to require thought or effort. That's supposed to be just a biological response. That's supposed to be just a biological response. And you are failing to be able to even generate that biological response in him. He's letting you know that's not something you can fake. It's either there or it ain't.
So he's letting me know he's not attracted.
He is letting you know that you are offending him. At least at a biological level, this is offensive. And what I'm saying is, if you keep offending him long enough, he will become emotionally attached to somebody else. And at that point, game over. Game over. Right now, I'm hoping it hasn't gone so far along that he is open to being emotionally attached to somebody else. If it's not that far along yet, you still got a shot. But you don't have a day to waste. When's his next day off of work?
Friday.
Saturday? Does he work Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, Friday is his day off work. Hate to do it on a Friday, but you need to hit him up on Friday and say, baby, we need to talk. I don't represent you well. There's a problem, and I'm not happy. And I don't think you're happy either. And I want to address this. A man can wrap his head around that. And here's the bottom line. Whatever answer he gives you, it better be yes. And if he says no, you better keep working him until he says yes. If you don't do that, don't worry about it. If you fail to do that, don't worry about it. At best, you'll be a side chick, and at worst, maybe he'll make the divorce easy. But right now, your priority needs to be removing his excuses or removing his rationales to get rid of you. Because you got on this phone with me, and I'm going to say this and then I got to move on. You got on this phone with me with a tremendous amount of misrepresentation. Problem. He doesn't have to play along with you. You can misrepresent that with me, but the man you with, he doesn't have to do that. He can give you the real thing.
Right. All right, Jason. I knew you was going to give it to me straight. I kind of knew that, but that's all I needed to hear.
Time's wasting. Well, what are you waiting around here for?
I'm gone, Jason.
This is why I have to take that extra mile and take a look into these things. No, let me see. I ain't got no social media. No, let me take a look. Let me take a look. I got to see what's going on because first thing they'll do is misrepresent it. No, you are at the doctor's office. I have to get a honest appraisal of where you actually are. Let's be very, very clear here, people. This is not pontification. This is not being hypothetical. This is the only channel where you're dealing with somebody who's giving it to you because this is where they live, not somebody pretending that this is their life. You better start valuing somebody who's giving you reliable information. Caller from area code 419. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? This is Jeff from Toledo. How you doing?
Jeff from Toledo. What's on your mind?
This is Joe from Toledo, not Jeff. This is Joe.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that your intellectual insight is beyond belief. And you hit the nail on the head when you compare it to your economic environment is the substance of who you socialize with. And that's based on a lot of things that you always explain. And playing the field too long, today there are plenty of our people in the upper age doing that in today's social media world. Everybody is playing the field. I have to say, too, Jason, when you keep it 100 real, our people can't handle it. The famous phrase, you can't handle the truth from that movie, A Few Good Men. Our people can't handle the truth. But you give the truth, whether it hurts or not. And when you said that she owed him a side chick, man, people don't know what that means. But
well, at this point right now, if she's lucky, he will afford her that. She's got a very brief window with which to correct this. And if it don't happen quick, like I say, y'all didn't see what I saw. She needs a complete overhaul. She doesn't need a tune-up. She needs a complete overhaul. That's the bad news. The good news is, depending on how dedicated and motivated she is, she could actually pull out a Hail Mary, but time is against her. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How's it going? This is DeMarcus calling out of Houston.
DeMarcus from Houston, what's on your mind?
Right. I needed some advice on like careers. I'm finishing up my mechanical engineering degree in about a year and a half to 2 years, and I'm trying to decide if I want to go like more down the straight mechanical engineering path for mechatronics or nanotechnology or whatever, or if I should transition into software development, because I see that coding is a lot easier to get into because there's a lot of certifications and like boot camps, but as far as mechanical engineering goes, there's not like a lot of those boot camps and stuff like that.
Quiet. Do you have a degree now?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you pursuing a degree now?
Yes, mechanical engineering.
Okay. You need to finish that.
Right. And I wanted to see if I should continue down mechanical engineering, or if it'll be better to switch.
You need to finish your mechanical engineering. Stay focused on that. Get you a master's. Get you a master's in mechanical engineering. Just don't deviate. Don't wander. How old are you?
25.
Okay, you are almost about to be too old to be wandering. You chose a good one. Stay focused. Don't start wandering. Don't start double questioning things and double guessing. Don't do that. You're doing good. Get you a master's in mechanical engineering. You'll be fine. After you do that, if you want to make changes after that, although I'm predicting you won't, if you want to, you'll do it then. But finish getting your degree. All kinds of opportunities are going to present themselves to you after you do.
One other thing is that I'm concerned about like job prospects because my GPA isn't quite, as high as it should be. I'm looking at like
your GPA, you understand you can take this as seriously as you want to. Even if you have to hire a tutor, do so. But you understand something. You will get paid for how good you are at what you do. If you get a degree and you're struggling, just understand that struggle is going to present itself to anybody who wants to hire you.
Okay. I know that experience, they want you to have like experience before you get on or anything.
You're not there yet. You are overthinking it. Keep this simple. You need to get your degree first, okay? You haven't even finished or you barely started. Get the degree first, okay? Stop trying to put the cart in front of the horse. Get the degree first. You're already trying to intercept objections from potential employers and potential this, potential that. That's intellectual masturbation. Get something solid in your hand. Get the degree and make sure that you get it with a 3.0 or higher. You don't want to be struggling. So focus on where you are, okay?
Well, if I can't graduate,
okay, brother, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to take this line of questioning for too much longer here tonight because we're talking about something different. Okay. So I'm doing your charity right now. What I'm telling you is that's what you need to do. Now, as far as, if you don't make it, then that's not a good sign for you. You need to do what is necessary to get your degree. If you need to hire a tutor or something to help you, you do that. If you have a learning impediment, you need to hire somebody for some help with that, you do that. But you need to get serious about this. You're 25 years old. If you do this right, you'll be set for the rest of your days. If you don't, you're going to have a lot less than you could. Because if you can't do mechanical engineering, how the hell are you going to do nanotech?
Okay.
Get your degree. Get some help getting it if you need to. But right now, the next 2 years needs to be spent on nothing but that degree. Got it?
Got it.
Now, I want you to call me back. How long do you have until you get your degree?
About a year and a half.
Okay, I want you to call me back when you have it. No excuses. Call me back when you have it.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us a call. Don't overcomplicate this. In the chat room, yeah, who was that who said that in the chat room there? Who were you, lady? Let me go back. Yeah, Cynthia B. In the chat room, Cynthia B. Don't be scared. Call the number. Scared money don't make money. Call from area code 707. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. My name is Iris, and I'm calling from Northern California.
Iris calling from Northern California. What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to thank you so much for today's broadcast. And as far as playing the field too long, one thing that I did and that I was kind of brought up to do was to never settle. And so in my 20s, I didn't date much. I was always like the single friend, but I was like not hooking up with anybody or doing anything like that. And then once I got into my 30s and whatnot, and just always focusing on career, focusing on schooling, focusing on that. But I am 38 now. Now, granted, I am in a nice relationship, in a beautiful relationship, but I am unmarried. And so I just even for those of us who are educated, seem to be very, very accomplished, part of playing the field too long is also just not recognizing, when you're at your prime in certain areas. And I even, could tell in my own personal life when I was younger, it seemed like, like we're beating people off, of various earners and whatnot. And then, of course, as you get older, it's kind of like, where is everybody? So,
how old are you?
Now I'm 38. I'll be 39 in January.
You're 38. About to be 39 in a few months.
Yep.
How many kids do you have?
I have one.
How many husbands do you have?
I have never been married.
Welcome to Black women representing us so well again, by the way. I do have to say this right now. Do Black women understand how humiliating and embarrassing that is? Because it's not like y'all are having, the majority of Black men are not single fathers. So do y'all understand just how humiliating and embarrassing that is that y'all have made that, a normal practice, by the way? I just wanted to say, by the way, do y'all understand how embarrassing to Black males that is?
Me, I never really considered the other gender as far as that, was concerned, but I can see how it would be.
Do you think that the other gender is considering you now?
No. I mean, especially not for marriage. And so that was kind of where my mind ended up going, was just not even thinking about that. And I just kind of on my own started to get my own assets, get my own home, become a high earner myself, or I won't say a high earner, but a pretty good earner. And
what do you do for a living?
So that's I work in tech.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. What do you do for a living?
I'm a project manager.
Okay. Project manager
I design technology for software developers to build it.
Nonsense. How much do you make a year as a project manager, Iris?
I make over 100,000, and that doesn't include bonuses.
But you live in Northern California, so you live in San Francisco?
I live an hour north of San Francisco.
Okay, so you've been priced out.
And
haven't I talked to you before, Iris?
Yeah, you have. You have.
Iris, come on now. Level with these young ladies. Level with them about what.
No, you're right.
Level with them about what it's going to be like.
Well, you'll just there will be a period of time when you're wondering, is it you? What is me? What is and it's almost like a midlife crisis, but you're younger, and so it's either like, okay, now you have to like reevaluate things, and if you don't I guess do right by, I don't even know, like honestly it's not a very confident place to be, I would say, as far as when I was in my 30s. Now I'm financially okay, so I'm fine.
Here's my issue. I'm so glad it's worked out that you feel so much better about yourself, but here's the problem. Does that impress a man? Does your financial quote unquote stability, does that attract a man?
I would say no, because what I've encountered, at least, it seems like, when what attracts a man is when you're able to talk and, just almost being friendly with them, but it's nothing about like, I would say just that I'm not like a bum would be an attracting thing, but I don't know. It could just be the way that I walk, the clothes that I wear. I don't even know.
Well,
but,
the clothes
I
you
would
wear,
say that,
not the clothes. The money you make is a benefit to you. The money you make is not a benefit to him. That's not a plus or an asset to him. It's for you and for your child. That's not an asset to him, though.
And that's true.
That does nothing for him. That doesn't help him one way or the other. So your income isn't something that he sits down and says, ooh, that's a plus. No, that doesn't really do anything for us. That's the issue I want people to consider. You're a nice enough girl. You're a nice enough girl and everything. Don't get me wrong. But definitely, by the way, how old is your child, by the way?
He's 10.
And how old were you again?
I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit. Can you repeat that?
Did you say how you were in your 30s? How old are you again?
I am 38.
More and more black women are sitting up here deciding to get in their late 20s and start screwing off and do irresponsible things then. And it's just, well, screw it. I'll do it now and we'll see where the chips fall. And the real problem, though, is that now you're 38 years old. You're not claimed by a man. Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Okay. At this point right here, because here's the real issue. Did you ever think you were going to get to 38 years old and be single? Be a single mom?
Well, there was different stages in my life. So when I was younger, I thought that I would be.
Okay, that's a yes. That's a yes or no.
I thought I would be married
question.
by the time I was 28.
Okay, thank you. So
I would.
Yeah, the answer is no. And here's the thing for me. I don't want your lives to be lesser. I mean when I said I want all of y'all to win. I want all my people to win. And, my problem is, unfortunately, among too many black females, they've made it the culture to start losing as early as they can. And these are unforced errors. That's the real shame of it. These are not even errors that had to be. Like, these were just unforced errors. Nobody made that happen. Nobody said, hey, you need to do this. They're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. And I just worry about the effect this will have on the kids, because here's the real issue. What was the last relationship you were in?
I'm currently in a relationship.
Okay. How long you been in your relationship?
On November 12th, it'll be 4 years.
Okay. And I can't remember if you said you had a son or a daughter.
I have a son.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I have to deal with, because I've got a bunch of males out here who are lost. They are weak. They have not had a consistent male image to pattern themselves after. The mamas are sitting up here having fun, getting into nonsense, and the children end up paying the price. And the mothers will always claim they're doing a great job. Every single mom claims she's doing a great job. And then these boys get grown, and his relationship is with a video game console that she swears them down. Ain't gonna be my kid. And sure enough, invariably they are. 10 years. And out of that 10 years, you've been with a boyfriend for 4. That's the thing right there. I want to hold this up as a cautionary tale. Ladies, because here's the other thing, babe. You've been dating this guy for 4 years, right?
Yes.
Does he actually live in the same city with you?
Yes.
Okay. He's not going to marry you, though.
No, I don't think so.
It's not a think. Ladies, if a man has been dating you for more than 2 years, he's not going to marry you. He has already made a decision that you're not wife material. Just to all the ladies out there, other folk have tried to take my metrics. They're screwing it up and giving people all kinds of crazy advice that you're supposed to be married within 30 days or 6 months. That is not what I said. That's unreasonable. That's unrealistic. That's silly. A man knows if you are wife material within the first 30 days, and he knows if you are wife material for him within the first 6 months. After that, the next year and a half is deciding whether or not he can live with the negatives that you bring. And he will make that decision within that first year or 2. And if he doesn't push for marriage within that first year or 2, he's already made up his mind. And there won't be anything you can do to reverse it. He has already decided that this is as far as you're going to get him. And you're not going to get him any further. Now, here's the problem. The real problem is I can't tell you what you do about it. Can't really tell you what you do about it. Because the problem is it would be how hard is it to replace a 38-year-old single mom? How hard is that to replace her? You know?
And there's a lot of young 20-somethings that, exactly.
There's a bunch of young chicks with no kids, and there's a bunch of 30-year-old single moms. So at the very least, you could swap you out for one whose stretch marks are not as long. So what I'm saying is,
I don't have any stretch marks.
So you say, Iris. So you say. But the bottom line, the bottom line is, and I want to. Where's the leverage that you would have to stop any of that from happening? That's the real issue. Because I want you all to be.
I don't.
I want you all to be valued. I want you all to be in a situation where you have options. I want you to have that. I want you to have that. I don't want anybody to be out here just running around. You got no options and it's all downhill. I don't want that for anybody. I want all of you to have your options open. Because I think that's important. Because I'm going to say this and I need to move on to the next caller. Being unclaimed, I've always taught you all, a woman without a man is only half a woman. It starts to pull at your psyche. It starts to do bad things to your psyche. When you're unclaimed, when you're just hanging out there like that, because you got expectations for your life, it does bad things for your psyche when a man does not validate you. It does bad things. It's like having a car with 3 wheels. You might be able to turn that son of a gun. You might be able to. And even if you do turn it, it's gonna give you hell. So I thank you for giving us a call here tonight. And like I say, I mean, definitely, I hope they learn from this, playing the field too long, telling yourself that you're going to have infinite retries, that nothing you do is ever going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what you do because you're so great and you're so special. And if one guy don't like it, there's plenty of others out there. That's the biggest lie that females tell themselves today, that they're going to have infinite retries. Biggest lie going. And what really upsets me is that their mothers aren't divorcing them from these misconceptions. That's the problem I have. Their mothers should be kicking them in the ass and divorcing them from it and saying, hey, you're screwing up. Like the women who call me, what I got to say to them, their mothers should be telling them this. They should be. Iris, I'm about to say, I've seen you before, haven't I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, and aren't you dating the guy who's like mixed?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Well, I don't want to bust up a happy home, so if things with him don't work out, give me a holler. I'll see if we can find you a reasonable substitute.
Well, thank you, Jason, and thank you for taking it easy on me. But everybody, please listen to Jason. Like, he is really speaking the truth. If only I knew 10, 11 years ago, if I started listening to you then instead of a couple of years, I feel like I could have accomplished so much more. So thank you, and keep doing your thing.
Well,
everyone.
I'm not going to say you can't do it, by the way. I won't even say you can't do it. What I am going to say is, wow, this would be a lot less of a heavy lift. I'm not going to say it's impossible. The odds, isn't life hard enough without putting odds against ourselves, So I'm not going to say what can't happen necessarily. I am going to say the guy you with, that ain't going to happen. But then again, I don't know. Because there's another, I'm going to say this here, and I'm really going to be gone. Single mothers don't have respect for marriage. It's kind of an ideal, but they really don't have respect for it, which is why they become single moms, because marriage isn't really something they value. They want the benefits, but they don't value marriage. Maybe they need to come to grips with that. Hey, I just don't really value marriage like that. And maybe the type of relationship you have with dude is what works best for you, because you can't really handle wifehood. Because if you had 10 years to get used to it, and it was just something you were like, okay, let me get the baby, because being a wife, I don't really value it. Maybe that is what's best. Maybe that is the lane that you can operate in. Because, like, for example, are you happy with what's his name now?
I am happy, but one thing I will say is that, like, let's say with myself and like my son's father, if you can raise a child with both of those incomes, like, he would be raised in like a very wealthy household. But because, whatever happened and I'm over here and, he's over there, well, now he's still raised in a wealthy household, with me, but he could even have those. But
he's got no father figure.
If we were.
He's got nobody. He has no man to craft his character into manhood.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a daily example. So whether it's with you or somebody else, without that man there to spend time with him so he can pattern himself after a man, not after a woman. At the end of the day, well, mama is not some androgynous position. You're a woman. You can't teach a boy how to be a man. He needs a man's example to follow. A man to be
100% correct.
90 seconds.
With that missing, that can cause issues there. But like I say, I mean, I'd better to have some example than none at all. I would just say, put that nigga in as much of a headlock as you can and spend as much time with your kid as you can, because these are years you will not get back again. And I'd rather you have something than absolutely nothing. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Iris, please do give us a call again. This is The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to have you all with us here this evening. We're discussing playing the field too long. When women play the field too long, you had a good run in your 20s, you were making all these deposits into your sexual bank account when you were in your 20s, in your female bank account, you were making all these deposits, but you also didn't realize you were making withdrawals. Some of you made more withdrawals than others. Might have put you in a bad position, might have put you in a bad spot. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with this being in this position? What's the game plan? Do you have one? We're going to see if we can run through our callers kind of quick here because we're running short on time. Let me get caller from area code 213. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Uriel from Los Angeles.
What's on your mind?
Good evening, Mr. Black. How you doing today?
What's on your mind?
Everything is on my mind right now. I was thinking about the playing the field too long concept being a part of the slavery that was put down on our people as far as not cooperating and cooperative economics. It plays out in the family and the lack of willingness to cooperate together to do like family businesses. I think that the seeds that were sown to kind of not necessarily respect male leadership, regardless kind of where it came from, I think it's
okay, but here's the issue,
kind of
brother.
Your opinion about
male leadership is defined as excellence. We got too many black males out here who think that male leadership is defined as genitalia. If you are not excelling, you're not giving a woman anything to submit to. And that's a brutal reality that needs to be accepted. If you are not going to give them, if you're not providing a woman with excellence, then there's nothing for her to submit to. You're generic.
I agree with that.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 678. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Niren calling from Stone Mountain.
Okay, did you say Mary?
Niren.
Niren calling from Stone Mountain, Georgia. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to say I like the game that you're dropping. I'm 43 years old, and I'm still soaking up a lot of the or learning new stuff that I'm getting from you. My question is the whole power dynamic ideology, because you all touched on it earlier today when you was talking about the white girls and the Japanese. I'm prior military. I was stationed overseas in Japan, so me being stationed overseas in Japan, I dealt with a lot of Japanese girls, and I call it the love dynamic because, as you said, they compliment you, and I didn't have to establish a dominance over there. It was just, I like you, you like me, and we would do it to help each other.
Not really.
Go ahead.
You were in the military, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so your perspective is completely inaccurate in that regard. You can't have an accurate assessment because World War II forever changed Japanese society. So military men, American servicemen, Japanese folk don't think a damn thing of black people. Professor Black Truth has documented that for years now. Being in the military, they see your uniform. They don't see you. So the reception that you get as a member of the military is different than what it would be if you were just Joe Blow off the street. So it's very, very hard to get an accurate idea of what they really think of you because they see your military. Remember, America is Japan's military.
Mm-hmm.
Japan doesn't have a military. After World War II, the Marshall Plan, they surrendered the right to have a standing army. You are their military. So the way they see you is totally different than the way they see anybody else. So how they respond to you is totally different. You are not a man. You are a member of the military. You actually have more rights than a lot of Japanese citizens do. And the Japanese ain't happy about that. You've had incidents of American military men assaulting Japanese citizens. And they're judged under American military law, not Japanese civilian law.
If they can make it to the base, yeah.
And they usually do. So how you are treated is totally different than how the average male would be treated in Japan under the same circumstances, much less a black male. So you've got all types of advantages in that regard. Yes, the society is different, but then again, they're different in a lot of ways. But it's a totally different dynamic, unfortunately, where that's concerned. I know a lot of folk are kind of deceived about that, especially even civilians, but they don't understand. It's not the same kind of way. And if you really want to know what Japanese folk think of you, come to America. Talk to some Japanese people in America. Deal with some Japanese people in America, where you're on an equal footing, where they're not mystified by your uniform and they're familiar with the society. Come talk to some Japanese. I'm talking about Japanese immigrants. Talk to some Japanese immigrants fresh off the plane, fresh off the boat in America. You'll see a marked difference. Plenty of black males running around Chinatown in New York, around Japanese folk in California. They ain't treating you like they do in Okinawa. Asian females don't treat you in Oakland the way they do in Okinawa. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. It's not a fluke. You come here to America, all of a sudden, them same Japanese immigrants, they treating you totally different. Keep that in mind. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 781. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm Aaron. I'm a high schooler. And, you know what I'm saying? I just
Where are you calling from, Aaron?
Oh, shit. I'm calling from Massachusetts.
We're at in Massachusetts,
and I just had
Aaron.
You want to know my exact location?
Okay, Aaron, last try, son. Where in Massachusetts are you calling me from?
Near Boston.
Okay. Well, Aaron, I'm going to let you figure out where you're calling from and give us a call again next time. Folks, nobody can see you. Nobody knows who you are. I want to know where people are calling from because that gives me an idea of how to talk to you. Because if somebody's going to call and be disingenuous, I got to have some information before I can begin a discussion. So the young man is being evasive. Let's see if we can try that again differently next time. Let me get caller from area code 443. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Jason.
I got too many dudes calling me tonight. What is your name? Where you calling from, brother?
I'm Lamar Campbell, calling from Irvington, New Jersey.
Lamar from Irvington, what's on your mind?
A lot of things. First off, let me say you are a blessing to the community. I am a immigrant. I'm from Jamaica. Just so I know your style. I've been listening to you for like 2 years. So got that out of the way. I'm hoping if you could enlighten me a little bit more about my situation. I see you helping a lot of people. I'm currently married. Hopefully, I'm trying to get a divorce. I got 2 daughters. One's 2, one's 1. I can't seem to understand like the dynamics in my situation. I don't make much, but I do my best, meaning I work my ass off with what I got. Right? I do security for like 2 years since I've been in America. And to make a long story short, my supposedly wife ran away with my 2 daughters over an argument and trying to make me look bad, all of that. And now she's trying to come back, trying to get me back in her life. But I'm like, I love my daughters dearly, but I don't think it's worth it for me to be with someone like her.
Okay. Let me find out here. How old are you and how old is she?
I'm 30. She's 30. I just turned 30 August, and she's gonna be 31 December.
Is she black?
She's Jamaican as well.
Oh, she's Jamaican
yes,
as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We both Jamaican.
Okay.
We came up here. We met up here, and so.
Okay. One more time though. Currently, where is up here?
I'm sorry. We met in America. Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, what city did you meet in?
I met her in New York, actually.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because you're in Irvington, but you actually met her in New York.
Yes, sir.
Manhattan or Brooklyn?
Bronx.
None of the above. All right. Bronx, which means she's a disciplinary problem. Bronx, which means she comes from a working class family or poor, and she's a disciplinary problem.
Yes, sir.
I'm not putting a stigma on her. Let's just keep it real. For those of you who are
No,
from,
sir.
For those of y'all who are,
I know you. I don't care about no one else. I know you. I understand when you talk.
To my people in New York, y'all know there's a difference between Manhattan, that's the money district, Brooklyn, which the money is washing over into Brooklyn, but this really starts declining. And then you got Queens, but the bottom of the 5 boroughs, the bottom one's the Bronx. And all the stuff that's been making the news in the last couple of years has been out the Bronx. Hell, they just had a shooting at a dealership caught on video. I just saw it on TV in New York. There was it was a used car dealership, but 3 dudes came up in there bussing, and this man had to lay on top of his 3 children to keep bullets from hitting them. So all the stuff y'all are hearing about is in the Bronx right now. So that just gives you some idea. Anyway, don't say anything. You're 30, she's 30. How old are the kids?
One's 2, one's 1.
Okay. Now, you say you were married to her?
I'm currently still married to her.
Okay.
How long you?
Okay, stop. That's the yes/no question. How long you been married?
3 years.
Okay. So you tried to do that much the right way. Y'all were about 26, 27 when you decided to make the move. And then 28 when you actually did it. All right.
Yes,
here's the issues I have with this right here. Did she have any kids before you?
No, sir.
Was she ever pregnant?
No, sir.
Okay. Did she have both of her parents?
No, sir. She has her father. Her mother passed away years ago.
So she only has her father?
Yes, sir.
What type of dude is he?
Honestly, he's a stand-up person. So far, and I'm being very nice because things have transpired between the families, and she's painted a picture, and he's acting weird right now. But I'm mature enough to know that it's because of the whole situation, and he's got to have his daughters back, I guess. But from my point of view, he's a stand-up person.
Brother, let me ask you a question here, and you need to be straight with me. Why did she grab the kids and leave? And now her father is acting funny with you.
Personally, I believe, not even personally, facts. She grabbed them. She took them because she knew that they were the only ones that I really, really cared about.
Okay, brother, listen to me. What happened? I'll try this one last time. What happened?
Mr. Black, I'll just want the game from you. We've been having arguments, especially since I started listening to you.
There you go. Okay,
because I tried to get her to listen to you.
We've been having arguments, but that doesn't tell me what happened.
Sir, honestly, I don't know how you're gonna take this, but honestly, I'm a logical person, and this is the most logics I can make of the situation. This situation is still messing my head up because I'm trying to wrap around how could someone do things like this.
Okay.
You understand? Like,
Okay, brother,
I consider myself young.
Here's the issue. What you're saying does not make sense. She ain't gonna just she's not gonna just get up one day, grab the kids, and run off. Does she have a job?
We had an argument that
Okay. You had an argument about what exactly?
The order structure and just the breakdown of a family, how a family should be.
Okay, that's not telling me anything. What was the argument about? What was her position that upset you?
Her position basically was, in this argument, it was about the kids mixing with my side of the family and hers. She's always opposed to the kids coming to my side of the family.
Okay.
And
does she work?
No, sir.
Okay, she didn't have a job. You were paying all the bills.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And where is she at now with no job?
She's by her father, and I'm gonna be honest.
So she's moved back in. She moved back in with her folks then.
Yes, and
okay.
They're in Massachusetts. I think Cape Cod, somewhere over there in Massachusetts. And to my knowledge, she just got a job at a school as an assistant teacher.
Okay. Here's the issue. There are things you're not telling me. And since you're refusing,
boss, I wish I knew.
And since you are refusing to acknowledge it and cop to it, then it leaves it up to me to have to fill in those gaps myself. She had a father in her life.
Well, please do.
She had a father in her life. Obviously, something between you all occurred. Obviously. And I doubt.
But why would she want it?
And I doubt that it was. I doubt it was quiet. All that having been stated, you haven't known her long enough.
Yes.
You have not known her long enough to discipline her.
That's true.
So, all that having been stated.
One last thing. What would you suggest? Because right now I'm at a conundrum right now, and that's why I called you.
You're talking too much.
Sorry.
You don't have to tell me anything else. The only thing that's working in your favor is that she hasn't filed for divorce, although that could be coming.
I want to.
Okay.
That's the final piece. What I wanted to land on you. That's why I eventually mustered up the courage to call you, because I'm really a private person,
brother. Okay, do me a favor. Stop talking. Second time.
Okay, sir.
If you just listen, I'll lay out where you really are. Okay.
Okay.
You're saying that you want to file for divorce. Do you realize that that's going to put you on the hook? Do you realize that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you really want to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right now, she has a job, you said. As long as she keeps the job, I suppose that may eliminate alimony worries and lower how much you have to pay in child support, maybe. But the real issue here is, brother, do you really want to do that? Because right now it sounds like an ego thing. If you want to call her, okay, stop. If you want to call her right now, could you do so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means that, and you got on the phone saying she's trying to put things back together with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much does she weigh?
Probably she's at 200 right now, or 180. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
How tall is she?
She's 6'1".
Really?
6'1".
Well, you married a WNBA player?
Yeah, right.
What the hell?
And I'm 5'9".
This nigga married Big Barda. All right.
Nah.
In any case, well, did she put on weight since y'all got married?
She put on weight during and a little bit during her pregnancies, because she had back-to-back pregnancies. She put on weight, but that's it, Mr. Black. That's not even my issue. I'm sorry to cut you off or segue you through that, but that's not my issue. I'm way more mature to even. Yes, all men are attracted to the flesh. I got that. I love big ass, big tits, all that. My thing is the mental part, though, the mind.
Okay.
You understand?
Here's what I'm thinking about, brother. Okay. Feelings come and feelings go. You've already got kids with this woman.
Sure.
And I asked you several times what the issue was. And the only thing you could say was, well, she don't want my kids mixing with my side of the family. That doesn't make any sense either. She married you. Obviously, you would expect the kids are going to go see their grandparents. What is it about your family that she doesn't like?
I don't even know. She will say something one time,
brother.
That's not
helpful. That's not helpful. You're doing it again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Black. I want to help you to help me, because that's how I look at the situation, and I want.
Okay. What does your father think of her?
Excuse me?
What does your dad think of her?
My dad, right now, he thinks she needs help.
Okay. Is your father married to your mom?
No, sir. They were divorced
in
2007.
There you go. All right. Because you see, the only thing I could see her objecting to would be a family dynamic. And what you're saying does not make sense. It doesn't make sense unless this woman is mentally unstable. And by the way, in New York, that can happen. Happens a lot there. But the problem is, I don't think you would be so surprised today if you got with somebody who was mentally unstable when you met them. So obviously that's not the case. So this is what I mean by your story is you're giving me piecemeal, and your story is all over the place as far as what actually happened.
You know what's funny? The option, the suggestion that you just made, or the term that you just gave, I'm honestly believing that's it. Sometimes it's like I don't want to. You're right. The things that I've been hiding is trying not to make her look as bad as she is. Right? I'm not perfect. No way.
Has she gotten counseling?
I don't know, Mr. Black. She says so.
Have you gotten counseling?
No, sir.
Okay. Because right now, my honest suggestion to you is y'all need counseling. How long did you know her before you got married?
I knew her probably like 3 years before.
So you've known her going on 6 years then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, there was no counseling going on here. So you need an objective party to size this up for you and the children's sake. That is important. I think you should give that an opportunity, because right now, brother, I'm just going to be straight up with you. You're not telling me everything I need to know, and there are huge parts here that don't make any sense the way you're trying to give it to me, and I'm only going to give you the advice that actually will work. There needs to be some counseling involved, Because I guarantee if that woman is on this phone, she's telling me something totally different than what you're telling me. And you know that.
And look, I'm mature enough to admit that, and I'm sure you're intelligent enough to know that you can make sense out of what she's telling you, and I can bet you it's gonna lead back to you be saying, yo, y'all definitely need counseling, or I'll take counseling too, because I have no problem with growing, changing, learning. I have no problem with that.
Okay, well, you need to make that.
She would have a big problem.
You need to make that a priority. And you need to get that in text. I've never met a woman who had a problem with counseling. They love sitting up here bawling to people about their issues.
Unless they wrong.
Okay. Brother, here's the issue. Both of y'all are wrong. That's the issue. Both of you are. So, there needs to be a marriage counselor in this equation. And I for you to go off and try to file divorce, I think that would be grossly immature. Because I know you're not in the right. I don't think you aren't. I know you're not.
I think this might be your first opinion that...
Brother, from just our interaction on this phone, you can say whatever you want to. I know you are not in the right. And I don't mean as in she's right and you're wrong. I'm saying both of you are wrong. Both of you.
Okay.
And you're sitting up here trying to make it well, you see, she all screwed up and stuff, and I did a little bit. No, both of you need an intervention. I wouldn't trust you right now. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't trust her with you. Based on what I've heard during this phone call, I know when somebody ain't leveling with me, and I know when I'm asking simple questions, and that woman would just have to be irrational. But then again, why would you have married a completely irrational woman? That makes no sense.
Mr. Black, all I can say is I hope when I call again, I hope we can have another discussion, because you're right. I am holding back because I am a private person, but I can assure you, give me 2 days, let me get on one more of your programs, and if it's something similar to this, I'll try my best to let out everything, because I want to learn. So
Okay.
even if I look bad, what don't kill
Talking
me
to me,
stronger, right?
talking to me is only semi-relevant. What I'm going to say is I'd rather talk to her, quite frankly.
Okay.
I'd rather talk to her. And as far as you're concerned, my advice is going to stand. You don't need to be getting divorced. You need to go talk. You both need to have a counselor. And if they say y'all need to be divorced, well, that's a different matter. By the way, we didn't ask, by the way, has anybody been accused of any type of infidelity?
No, sir.
Okay. Drug abuse?
No, sir.
Okay. Regardless of what happens, you need to have a counselor. If there is another call back to me, I would really like to talk to her. And I would like to see what she has to say. And if she gets on the phone, going, talking with bug eyes out of her head and stuff, then I'd be like, ooh, bruh. But my next question would be, why would you marry a bug-eyed psycho? But my next question would be, why on earth would you marry a bug-eyed psycho then? So.
If I could say something before I go, is that God bless you, Mr. Black. I heard you while I was on a bus going home this was when I just got in America, like early, yeah. And I heard you on a bus. I heard you 2 mornings straight from this same guy, and I was like, who is that? You sounded intelligent, and I'm like, I needed to get these programmings, and I've been an avid listener of you, even when you're saying a lot of things about the state of mind or the culture of Jamaicans or immigrants coming over here, which you are right. Because a lot of us, we get programmed thinking America is a certain way, coming here, whole different thing. Some of us, we fall. Some of us, we try to be good citizens. But you are 1,000% right on everything you do. You're like a god in knowledge, in information, and I just want the whole world.
Definitely, you're too kind. That's very flattering. More than anything else, though, I want to make sure you have what you need here. You got 2 kids by this woman. We make divorce too easy. Y'all start talking about divorce like you're looking up a movie on Netflix. Divorce is very, very serious, and that's supposed to be a last resort. Why did she get up and leave? You know why she did that. And what I'm saying is, if you can't fix this here, your next relationship will be exactly the same. You'll just be claiming that there were other problems. I'm a firm believer in that. You married her for a reason. But if you really think I'm wrong, let's come up with a way to get me to talk to her.
I'm gonna try because I think you might be my last resort of getting through to her. So I'm gonna try.
Well, definitely. Let me know how that turns out here. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 302. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Jay. I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
All the dudes calling me tonight. What's on your mind?
So basically, I'm another typical black kid. I was raised by a single mother. Father wasn't in my life. He was in jail, doing drugs, things like that. Definitely feel, you talked about it before, you saying the males will feel deficient. I do feel at the bottom of the pecking order when I'm around other males, without question.
Okay, what's your question, caller?
Also,
let's skip the chase. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how can I not be mediocre?
Okay. First step is desire. And by desire, I mean if I put a plastic bag over your head, how much would you want oxygen?
Oh, bad.
Okay. I didn't say want it. When I say desire, I mean desire it like the suffocating man wants oxygen, like the starving man wants food. When you have that type of dedication, then I'll know you're beginning to get serious.
Okay.
But it begins there. And if your parents didn't put it into you or whatever, you need to cultivate that yourself. But excellence begins with desire. It begins with a desire that says, I need this. And every day you get up and it's like a religion is what you have dedicated your life to.
Yeah. I got another question. I'm at a community college now. I'm taking accounting, but I was thinking about transferring to I'm supposed to be transferring to a 4-year school next year. I'm thinking about taking some medical school prerequisites because I'm thinking about going to medical school.
What? No, you don't think about nothing. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. You're too old to be thinking about it. Right now, you need to have a clear direction. What do you want to do with your life?
I just want to be as successful as possible. I gotta make a lot of money.
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. That's the problem. What you just said is very broad, vague, and amorphous. Doesn't mean anything. Everybody wants money. That doesn't tell me what you want to do with your life.
I want to be admired. I want status.
Okay. So what do you want to do for the world that people would admire you?
Honestly, it don't matter. That's why I was considering
it does
going to medical school because I know that's something that people will respect.
Okay, here's the problem. If it is not something that is your real heart's desire, how are you going to stick with it? You'll just start and then you'll be like, oh, hell, this is boring. Let me quit. So how are you going to have persistence?
Well, I know it can give me respect in the future. It can give me some type of, some type of status compared to other men. You know,
you cannot chase respect. You chase accomplishment. Respect is a side effect.
Mm.
You don't chase women. You chase accomplishments and resources, and the women chase you. Women are a side effect. So, since you have decided that you want to go in the medical field, you say you want to go to medical school. You want to be a doctor?
Yeah, I was considering it.
Okay. And what do you know about being a doctor?
I just know they respect it. I know that for sure.
Do you know that being a doctor takes 10 years?
Most of the top.
Did you know that being a doctor takes 10 years?
Yeah, if I want any type of accomplishment, I know it's going to take a long time.
Okay. Being a doctor takes 10 years, and you'll have $400,000 or $500,000 in debt.
But I'll be making a few $100,000 a year.
Yeah, but can you?
And I also have MD at the end of my name.
That's one option for you. Why don't you try something a little bit easier?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know.
Okay. Have you run this by your father? Have you run this by your father?
I'm sorry?
Have you run this by your father?
Oh, I don't talk to him like that.
Okay. So that's not a good sign. Have you run this by your mother?
I don't think she can really. I don't think she can really give me good advice on this.
There you go. Do you have any kids?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you have any debts?
No. Well, I got some hospital things. It's only a few $100.
Okay. Do you have any habits?
Any habit, like drug habit? No, nothing crazy like that.
Okay. I am going to recommend to you that instead of some pipe dream of being going to medical school, because you don't strike me as a medical minded person. Those are specific type of people. Instead of you trying to get around those things, why don't you try for something different? You really should look into getting a trade. Because
that's not going to be able to offer me the type of status and respect that I need.
Okay, if you're a business owner, it will.
I don't know. Blue collar workers aren't really respected the way.
Sir, everything is blue collar work at your level. And right now, you are just wandering. You're talking about things you don't really understand. You're not a medical school person. You're not a medical school minded person. Medical school people don't call up folk asking what should I do, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. Medical school people don't go to medical school for, quote, respect. Nobody goes to medical school for, quote, respect. Nobody does that. So you already started off. That's how I know, that this isn't for you. You're going, even if you could get in, which you won't, but even if you could, you're trying to get in for the wrong reasons. You go to medical school because you wish to be a healer of men, not for, quote, respect. But if you don't believe me, you say you got some medical bills, go talk to your doctor and go tell him, hey, I want to go to medical school because I want respect, and watch him laugh you out of his office.
No, I wouldn't tell him that. That's not what you would tell him. Like, if I went to an interview, I wouldn't tell him,
no,
hey, I'm
sir.
here to get
No. I'm talking about if you have a doctor, ask him, hey, well, you're a doctor. I want to go to medical school myself. He's going to be like, oh, why? Because I want respect. And watch what he tells you. Don't believe me. Go ask an actual doctor and say these things to him. Somebody who's actually in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then let them find out if they agree with you. That that's a place where you get, quote, respect. You're trying to avoid doing actual work, and this is all really irrational. You're too old to be irrational. I recommend that if you really want to be respected, start stacking up accomplishments. And in your case, instead of trying to avoid building something, because like right now, you're 21 years old. What do you do for a living?
I don't do nothing right now.
Okay. Let me ask you a question here. If you can't become a carpenter, what the hell makes you think you're going to become a doctor?
I didn't say I can't become a carpenter. I just said I don't want to.
Sir.
Because
okay.
This world don't value.
Sir, if you are unable to become a carpenter, to become a plumber, if you're unable to do manual labor, what the hell makes you think you can become something as complex as a doctor?
I don't think I'm unable to do that, but unable to become a carpenter. I just don't want to.
Okay. You need to start getting some wins under your belt. What you're talking about is irrational. You're not a medical school student. You're not a medical school-minded person. You don't even respect medical school. If you started, you'll just be another person who wandered in before the school kicks your ass, which it will, and then you'll wander out. Right now, your family is aimless. Not just you, your whole family is aimless. And it's time for somebody to get serious, get realistic, and start saying, you know what, let me get some roots. The more you run from this, the harder it will be because you're going to watch years fall off the calendar, which is what you're currently doing now. Medical school is a pipe dream. You are nobody's doctor. You need to focus on a skill set. You're not a doctor. Give that up. Let's start making you excellent at something you can actually do. By the way, what were your grades like in high school?
Oh, they wasn't the best.
Okay. You're not a doctor. Because when you go to medical school, there will be no margin for error. So, if you can't make it through trade school, you'll never make it through medical school. And I know a few doctors, actually, who went to trade school first. If you can't do that, then that should be your wake-up call. There's no way in the hell you can make it through medical school. Trade school is only a year or two. But right now, you're watching time fall off the calendar. Let that go. It's time for you to get serious and realistic. This is not serious and this is not realistic. What is serious and realistic is you demonstrating you can actually have some wins under your belt. I think trade school will be great for you. But if you want to try IT, that's another thing as well. But you're not striking me as the kind of person who takes care of complex things. I don't think you even understand what medical school is. So why don't we get you something you can actually do? Instead of these pipe dreams about stuff that you don't really mean. Before you go off and go spoil all your student loan debt, your capacity to get student loan debt, before you go ruin it all on something you can't even do, if you're going to do it, let's make sure it's something you can actually get a hold of and you can actually make good on. Why don't we try there?
Okay, what's your suggestions?
My suggestion for you here is I think the way that you are acting, I think you would make a very good auto mechanic.
Okay.
I think auto repair, carpentry, I think those are things you would excel at.
Okay.
And if you can't do those, there was no way in the hell you were ever going to do medicine anyway. But those are things you could actually do. Those are things you could actually do and could actually excel at. I don't think that I won't give you something really simple.
When you say can't do those, are you saying like having the desire to want to do them, or having the mental capacity to get those things done?
Having the aptitude.
Okay.
I would recommend you start there. Some folks are saying it. Some folks are saying CDL, but I actually wanted to do something he could actually apply some intellect to. I don't ever try to say that people don't have any. I don't ever try to do that. But those are things you could do, and you could actually become a contractor at it, and you would actually be able to become a business owner at it, and that will be something people will respect you for.
Okay.
Why don't you give me a call back in 6 months?
In 6 months?
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to hear from you
I
to
think
see
you
how
might
things
be
are going.
All right.
I'm serious. I'd like to hear from you to see how things are going.
Definitely. I'll definitely get back in touch with you.
Please do so. We'll be here. Thank you for giving us a call.
Okay.
Caller from area code 651. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Hello, Jason. This is Miss Jazzy for a reason, and I was calling to get some advice from you.
All right. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Increasingly, I'm finding that I'm under surveillance from yesterday I was at home and a squad car showed up outside my house, knocking on the door.
Ma'am, Jazzy, have you called in before?
I don't know.
Have you called in before?
No, I have never called in before.
Okay.
Never.
Explain to me exactly.
I'm serious,
to me. Okay, ma'am. This is not the program.
Okay.
This is not the program to deal with this.
Okay. No, but I'm serious though.
And so am I.
And I'm looking
and
because
so am
I
I.
believe. No, I'm
and
serious
so
that my
am I.
family, my family.
I'm serious
My
too.
family is going. No, it's not. No. I just want advice.
Okay. You need to.
Because I believe that if something happened, my family might coon out. And
Okay.
I don't want them to.
Have you been recording these events?
Yes, I have.
Okay. You need to record them and you need to upload them. Have these people been coming by your house during the day?
Actually, like I said, a police car showed up at my house yesterday.
Okay, I said during the day.
They was asking for someone that does not live here, and they tried to play it off as though it was my neighbor.
Okay, well.
And they told
you need
me
to, okay,
one thing,
ma'am,
my another thing.
Ma'am.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
You need to record these situations and upload to YouTube or whatever, but you really need to record it and get you an attorney.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, that's what I was calling for. An
All right.
attorney.
All right.
How do I go about looking for an attorney? That's my question.
You look for a civil attorney who has experience at suing police.
Okay, a civil attorney. Okay, that's
Yes.
And that's all. And I wanted to tell you that your work is
Twilight Zone. Caller from area code 901. You're on live with The Business. Would you actually like to talk about the topic, or are you being abducted by aliens?
No.
Okay, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Talking to Nashville.
Okay, take your phone off of speaker, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
What is your name?
Talking Tina.
Talking single?
Talking Tina.
Okay, Talking Tina, and where are you calling from?
Nashville.
Okay, Talking Tina from Nashville. What's on your mind?
I want to let you know I appreciate everything you've been doing. I agree with everything you say. And I just wanted to comment and say that as a woman, all they have to do is be who they are created and designed to be. And everything else will be fine. It'll be respected and everything. Sometimes you kind of get thrown off, but if you are claimed by a male, they will put you back on track and you'll be all right. So
that is one possible event. The other one is time may run out. That could happen too.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I kept the damn phone lines open too long, apparently, here. Everybody's on their meth and doing their drugs. So that's what happens when you screw around and do that. Screw around, do that too much, and then things get really dumb.
Hello?
Hello, Cynthia. You are on The Business.
Hi.
What is on your mind?
See, I kind of got distracted because of the last two callers, but the kid who called like a couple of times ago, he was talking about his what he wanted to didn't know what to do with his life. I kind of wanted to talk about that too. I'm kind of in a rut also. I'm currently a senior in college right now, and I'm just having a midlife crisis, even though I'm 21.
Okay, Cynthia. All right, Cynthia. Time is of the essence here. You're 21 years old. Where you live at?
I'm from Boston, but the school I go to is a few hours away from there, so.
Okay. Where do you live?
You mean currently or
Okay, Cynthia. Everybody's doing drugs tonight, I guess. Let me try this one more. Let me try this one.
I'm sorry.
Cynthia, let me try this one more time. Where do you currently live?
In North Adams, Massachusetts.
Okay. And you're currently going to school for what?
I'm an art major with a minor in psychology.
Both of those are useless. I know. Some of your high-value posers are trying to take my stuff now, and all of a sudden they want to pretend that they know about college, and they're basically just repeating me. I get it. But, yeah, I told y'all over a decade ago, you have 2 useless degrees. Or at least you're pursuing 2 useless disciplines.
Okay.
I know that wasn't what you wanted to hear. But, yeah, those are worthless. I know everybody and their mama claims they know what degrees y'all should get now. All they're really doing is repeating what I said, but by the way, yeah. Just thought I'd point that out. So, anyway, yeah, those are useless. You won't be able to do anything with those. How much do you owe? Really? Did she really just hang up? I think she did. I think she really just hung up. Well, not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. Folks, if you didn't get warned, if you didn't get told, somebody needs to say something here before you get too damn far along. But even still, that's just bad manners.
to an automatic messaging system. 8573.
Well, that was bad manners. Hell, I didn't even get to the part where I could tell her what to do next. But yes, folks, art, liberal arts, psychology, sociology, economics, finance, business management, you're not going to be able to do anything with those. Those are useless. Not going to be able to do anything with those at all. These schools will let you run up debt for anything you want to pursue. But the bottom line is you can't do anything with those. You can't do nothing. If nobody ever took out the time to tell you, I did. If nobody you knew actually knew, I'm telling you, for the rest of you. Well, them's the breaks. Maybe she'll give us a call back later. We did tonight's program because we wanted to discuss what happens when you play the field too long. If you've been out here playing the field too long, you stayed out there way past your expiration date, soaking up the attention, soaking up the adoration, the things that made you valuable, you've exhausted them. And remember, when you play, you will pay. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the place where we give it to you like nobody else has got it. We have laid the foundation that everyone else is copying and imitating with very, very shoddy results. Time for you to get it from a place that's actually reliable. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, what you waiting on? If you haven't clicked that yellow notification bell, that's why you didn't know we were here. If you're not a member of our Patreon, you definitely want to go over there and join our Patreon. Links in the description. My mods posted in the chat. It's time for you all to actually get some real game for a change. Time for you to actually get the real thing. This concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant. You know who it is, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or your business will handle you.